Hey, it's your girl Krissie Kanique, and I'm back again with another video. As you can tell from the title below, y'all already know who I'm here with today, but I don't even know where to start with this person because it's like, you're the one YouTuber that has transformed into the media space in a real way. Like, of course, recently you just closed your Spotify deal for what, 10 million?
Listen, whatever they say, I agree with. I'm broke out here, man. I'm just trying.
And then, of course, TV with Everyday Struggle. And then Twitch, you got to deal with Twitch. You impact hip-hop culture in such a real way. I would call you one of the key holders. I'm here with DJ Akademiks. Hey,
What's good, yo? I don't know if people remember how did we first meet? I'll try to remember. And it's been so long. It's been like 4 years, right?
Yes. But definitely through Instagram.
I think through Instagram.
Yeah.
And then we linked up. I was doing Everyday Struggle.
At the Complex building for sure.
You came with me, or you met me there, right?
Yeah.
Because I remember that. And then
I met you at Complex.
Exactly. And I remember we also had lunch or dinner with Wayno.
Well, Wayno, we was just talking hip hop the whole time.
And I was trying to tell this guy over there, he saw you, but you came late. He has a bad memory.
Now that you said that, I actually remember. Yeah.
Very bad memory. But yeah, no, it's been a long time. That was such an interesting time. That was pre-pandemic.
Right before the pandemic, yeah.
A lot of things was up in the air for, I think, everybody. Just if you do business in general. Think about this, right? So I started doing Everyday Struggle March 2017. When I started doing that, it felt like a new renaissance of content. I kind of grew up. I went to college. I was doing college radio. They kicked my ass off of there twice. Don't ask me after that's my way back the second time. And
what you said that you got kicked off?
No. Well, honestly, I think what it was is I was transforming college radio. Mm-hmm. To be truly an innovator and to be truly disruptive. It's destructive for me to say don't follow rules, but you have to do shit in a way that no one else has done. You know what I mean? I've always said for example, now I see a lot of people doing what I did on YouTube 6 years ago.
For sure.
Now it's gonna give you some marginal success, but if you really want to break out, you gotta fuck the game up. You gotta come on a different angle.
You gotta do something original that's not already out there.
Exactly.
And that's hard, especially in 2022.
I was speaking to this Twitch creator who blew up, and he's huge now. His name is Kai Cenat, and he said the dopest thing, which I agree with. Yeah, and he's they live in Atlanta, and he said when you get an original idea that's dope, you realize things just take off.
Yeah.
These days we're kind of we're in the era where everybody just wants to be like everybody else, and their only inspiration comes from watching successful people. So they're not really passionate at what they're doing.
Right.
They're just passionate about being successful, but they don't know how to get there.
I feel like they hear the speeches and then the speeches motivate them. So they think they're supposed to do it, but it's that's not really your passion.
Yeah, no, of course. Yeah. And there was a point I was there too. So I understand it. These days at first I used to be annoyed by copycats. I used to be yo, nigga, you know what I mean? But shit, I had to learn over time, and I think, maybe it came across as, cockiness before, but now it's kind of humility. I remember when me and, somebody who I looked up to, and by the way, that's the reason why I fucked with you, because I was for me to pass the ball forward, I got to remember what I needed when I was at your position or someone else. And there's a few people I remember being in their position, and I remember for example when I ran into Charlamagne the God, and me and him, we used to go back and forth on Twitter, and I know a lot of people were yo, you should ask him for a job, you should ask him for an opportunity, and I just knew that just wasn't the way to go, because I just understand how people are. If someone's asking you for some shit early out the gate, you're gonna either say no, ignore them, or just you've heard it a million times.
Right.
And I said to him, I said, yo, could you be my mentor? And what I meant by that was if I need an advice because I'm going in uncharted territory, be the person who has an open line I could call up. So when I first met you, I was you know what? That's kind of what, I have to be for other people, and especially people who show a dedicated interest in trying to make it in the game. So that I remember and to go back to the other story, I remember when me and Charlamagne had a conversation, and he was just yo, Ak, you're going to be successful. There's no you. But as you're learning, I could see, you're watching what I do that's successful, which sometimes was inflammatory comments and things nigga, just be you.
Right.
And it was one of the dopest things he actually told me because, you know, I kind of took it and I was like, all right, he's kind of right. Like, I got to figure out what me is.
Find your own voice in this lane, yeah.
Yeah, and that's why these days I don't get at people who do the copying things at first because, you know, Quincy Jones, very famous musician, once said, like, even the greats had to play like someone else before they found their own sound. You know, so again...
They say it's the biggest form of flattery, too.
Right.
For sure.
You know, all this shit like fake Drake and Perky, like, that's a little bit too much. You know, get me? I used to do videos in my boxes at home. I used to do videos when I had my last regular job was 2014, I believe I quit, or 2013. And I used to do videos in the back of my Mazda 3, so I got it till today. So it's like, I was doing videos, and I lived with a girlfriend after. I was just doing videos, like, we turned the living room into like my little studio, and I was just hustling, doing videos, and yeah, people were starting to note me, but like, when you talk about that crossover or breakthrough, it's a complete difference between just making videos when you want to and then dealing with corporate. So now
I don't think people realize how, like, YouTube is so independent based. Like, to be a YouTuber, you're the one, like, publishing your videos, creating your content. You decide when you want to upload. When you're working for a corporate, like a radio station or anything like that, because I come from a radio background. So, like, when they tell you you have to record, that's when you have to record. It's completely different on YouTube. So it's more independent.
Which one do you prefer? Because I'm going to be honest, I prefer, like, in hindsight, like, even with, let's say Spotify, right? Mm-hmm. Like, when we signed on and, like, even during negotiations, they were like, all right, cool. The show is going to be produced by one of the many companies they bought. You know, like, they have a lot of podcast companies. And it was going to be produced by one of them. But I remember what happened at Everyday Struggle. Like, it took me a while. It was so new to me because I'm a YouTuber by heart, which means I just pull out a camera. I could do as many takes as I want. I do it in the most comfortable setting. And shit, you know, a lot of people, they're not great at public speaking. I mean, I think I'm decent now. But, like, before, I didn't want people to listen to me. I didn't even like the sound of my own voice. That's the great thing about people who are watching if you're a YouTuber.
Right.
You get to, like, really master your craft with nobody but you watching. Exactly. And you get to decide, like, when you're on a big set and they say, yo, we're taping at 8, you can't have a horrible show and be like, yo, can we just do that again? They're going to be like, no.
No.
It's written in stone. So, you know, I think YouTube is, like, a great help with that. But, you know, the challenges of crossing over for me was just, like, it was pretty tedious. You got to deal with corporate. You got to deal with this huge production set. Like, fortunately, I kind of looked and seen what, you know, whatever, and we were able to build this, you know, for what I want to do. But then it was just like 10 people around, you know. I was the youngest of the whole crew on Everyday Struggle. I'm cracking jokes that I know my audience would laugh at, but, like, everybody who works with me is older, so they don't get it. You ever crack a joke and, like, everybody's like, yo, what is he talking about? You know what I mean? So later on, I'm in the YouTube comments searching, like, did somebody find it funny? You know what I mean?
Right.
So it was kind of hard, but then also, like, you know, you get to realize it. And this is one of the things I always tell YouTubers. You know, first of all, the whole goal when you do YouTube is to make money.
For sure.
A lot of people who are probably doing YouTube and trying to get, you know, a career jumping off there, you're not making a lot of money elsewhere. You want to do what you love and you want to be, you know, money really is just financial freedom.
And for quality content, you have to put so much money in before you even really make money. Yeah.
So you get to that point, and when you do start making money, I always tell like, you know, YouTubers, like, man, I've been doing YouTube for 11 years now. For every YouTuber and every creator, I don't care if you're the most poppin' Twitch streamer. I don't care if you're the most poppin' whatever. You get to a point, if you're an internet creator, it could be a TikTok or whatever, where you're going to realize you almost hit the peak of that platform. And for hip-hop commentary, I hit it. Yeah. Like, I just remember, I'm just like, you know, shit, I challenged myself this year to try to, like, you know, try to see if I could match my peak numbers because I was just a workaholic. I was doing 7 YouTube videos a day. You know, in the peak year, which was 2015 and 2016, I had 400 million views for one channel. And I had 4 channels. So for one channel, I had 400 million views each year. And, like, if you think about how that breaks down.
We can't just go over that. 400 million is a lot.
Yeah, no, it is.
In 1 year.
But I was on grind mode.
7 a day?
I was on grind mode.
How long were the videos?
Shit, from 3 to so that's the thing I kind of noticed, right? Like, my audience was pretty young.
Yeah.
They like the younger artists. They didn't want to listen for more than like 4 or 5 minutes. So like we would keep it from like 3 to maybe like 8, 9.
But with the algorithm on YouTube, you have to be like a minimum of 8 minutes to even make money off of it. So you just post and post.
Well, see, that's even another story in itself.
Yeah.
The reason why it took me so long to quit, because I was popular by the time I quit my job. Mm-hmm. I didn't monetize my channel. Like YouTube then and YouTube now is 2 different places.
Now
like,
it's easy.
Yeah, now it's much easier. Yeah. Like if you're getting views, you're gonna get some bread. Mm-hmm. Back then, your page would be just going like that. Like, you know what I mean? For whatever reason, you know what I mean? Like I had 2 pages with over like 150,000 subscribers. Woke up one day, I ain't even gonna lie to you, embarrassing as it sounds, and it might make me sound like a bitch, but you gotta imagine your livelihood. I remember crying in the bathroom low key. Like when my pages disappeared, and I had like a MCN. I remember calling him, I'm like,
How many subs were you at when it disappeared?
I had 150,000. And I would just ask him, like, yo, what happened? Like, yo, like, this is your whole life. Like, you know what I mean? Right. You got to keep in mind, when you quit your job, as for any entrepreneur and creator, when you leave the safety and security of a job, I don't know about nobody else but me, I was going so hard, there was zero turning back. And also, there's that, you have that, fear of failing, because it's like, yo, what do I fall back on?
Especially when a lot of people told you like you couldn't do it. Nobody believes in a YouTuber until the YouTuber makes it.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
And also back then too, I think even now, it's still kind of like a taboo. When I quit my job, you know what I told them? I lied to them. I couldn't tell them I was going to do YouTube. They would laugh me out of the building. They would be like, yo, you're an idiot. You know what I mean? So I told them, I said, yo, Hot 97 offered me a position. And they knew I kind of did the DJing thing on the side because I was doing parties in Jersey.
Yeah.
So I was like, Hot 97 offered me a job. Like I really like this job, but like I want to go try it. And the lady was so nice. She was like, yo, if it doesn't work out in a year, I'll still have your job here. And the whole time I'm like, bitch, I ain't never coming back. But still, it's scary to tell somebody, like, imagine like quitting college and you telling, I don't know, maybe your parents or whoever, like, would probably give you advice, yo, I'm quitting to be a TikToker. And they're looking at you like, nigga, what?
Especially when you come from Caribbean parents. I come from Caribbean parents. They're not going for none of that.
Yeah.
They're like, we didn't move to America for you to be an internet star. Like, what? Go be a doctor. Go be a nurse.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what they said.
And that's why, I have very few regrets in my career. But like, shit, I've had a 10-year career. I'm in my 30s now. And I wish I started earlier. I wish I started when I was 15. But my mom was like, you better get through college. I graduated college with a biomathematics degree. She just knew whenever you're like, she didn't know what it was at first, but she's like, if this don't work out, which I'm pretty sure it won't, you'll be able to get a 6-figure job because you have a really good degree. This is a degree that people could go to med school with. So that was her thing. And she was just kind of like, so she wasn't like bitching at me, but she was just kind of like, remember, you got your degree. You know what I mean? If you need help, let me know. But at that time, like, being an internet creator was just so different. Like,
when did she start believing in it? Like, what was the moment? It was a video that went viral, or was it like? Nah.
I bought in 2016. I bought so. 2015, I went to go get a car. So I'm not a YouTuber. I'm kind of making money because I started making money in 2014. Really, that's what I quit my job the moment I realized I had to quit my job. I was making $32,000 a year at this place because I was a temp worker at Verizon, just fixing the internal like headquarter people's computers. Like, so I was just an IT person,
gotcha.
Right? And they're paying like $17 an hour. Wasn't paying me really that much, and I was working 40 hours a week. And I just remember, because I was still doing my videos on the side. I was falling asleep every single time I was driving an hour and a half to work, hour and a half back, and I was just like, yo, this is fucking dreadful. I would sneak out of work to make videos in my car, I downloaded illegally a VPN over there to try to upload because they were trying to block YouTube.
Yeah.
And 2 reasons why I quit. One day, because I didn't want to monetize my videos at first, because remember, I had my YouTube channel deleted at one point. So I'm so scared of like doing anything that will fuck up an audience. Like, I worked so hard to get an audience. So many channels are deleted. I said, fuck ads right now. Let me just get popular.
Wait, so many? I thought you said it was one channel that was...
That's one of the biggest. So 2 of them that had like 150.
How long did it take you to get the 150 before it got deleted?
It wasn't that long because people were used to me being deleted.
Okay.
But I kind of got used to, one of those things where be like, yeah, this just won't ever work out for me. Like, I'm going to always get to this point, then get knocked down. And I'm going to keep going back. And you just kind of get used to this like, almost, rhythmic of getting to the top. But it's not really the top.
Right.
But getting to a place where you can be like, oh, I could see the light. And be like, nope, start over again, right? And remember this company hit me up and be like, yo, you're getting hella views. Yo, you should monetize it. I said, no. I just want to get popular right now. Like, stop. And they called me for 2 months, and I tried doing ads on my videos. I didn't have ads on my videos before then. Mm-hmm. And I did it, and I said, I'm not going to keep doing this if... So I'm a data person. So biomathematics is really study of numbers and numbers and analytics and probabilities. And I used to look at my stats. I still do. And I said, if the retention value of the people that were coming to me without ads went down because you're putting advertisements in between me, it's the reason why, with my intro, I talk fast. Like, people's attention span is short. People used to be like, yo, welcome to my channel. Yo, hit the like button. Yo, hit the sub button.
Yeah.
Do it.
Like, comment, and subscribe.
30 announcements before they get to the shit.
Right.
People want the shit.
2 minutes in.
So me, I would just start it off instantly, 3 seconds. What's up? Yo, we into this shit. I ain't got time for this. You get me? So that was my thing, not to lose people. Mm-hmm. So bet. This ad company is like, yeah, we could put ads on your videos. I'm like, nigga, you're about to have people sit through 15 seconds? They're about to leave. They was like, no, trust me. Everybody does it. People are making mad money on here. I said, fuck it. All right, I'm going to try it. Tried for like 1 or 2 months.
How many subs did you have at this point before you tried it?
Okay, so in that particular channel I tried it on, I had like 250 or like 300, but I had other channels. I had the Warren Chirac, I had that channel, I had my main channel, and I had a backup channel because YouTube just became about backup channels. Right. Whatever channel you got, if you like it, make a backup. And I was like, I didn't want to do it, but I'm like, let me try it. And I did it. And I remember like 2 months later, I got a paycheck for $34,000. And I just remember sitting there and I'm like, I'm fucking here for 40 hours a week for 12 months a year to make 32. And I got to pay taxes. And they don't give me health insurance. I just made that shit right then. But I was scared because I'm like, yo, they're going to delete your channel again. And, I always salute to Steve Harvey because he said this really dope thing, which I think all entrepreneurs should embody, is taking a leap of faith, where it's just like, if success was that easy, everybody would just get it. You know what I mean? But you kind of have to take a chance. And I was just like, shit, what if I leave this job? Keep in mind, like, I kind of fell off the track towards like med school and say I can't get this job back and I'm down bad and I wasted time. But I said, fuck it. And, even though making like $34,000, that's like pretty decent to tell you not to go back to work. Especially
if that's what you're making in a year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I quit.
You're good for a year.
Exactly.
If nothing else, you're good for a year from 1 month.
Yeah. And I quit then, and honestly, since then I just never really looked back. So.
And you've crossed over very well. Like, I don't know anybody. You could tell me. I don't know anybody that has started on YouTube and has conquered every single platform. Like, nobody, I call you one of the key holders of hip hop because I don't feel like if they're not on Akademiks page, they're not really relevant. And then every other source of media covers your page. Like, they're just reposting your page. You even said it. You said you're the king of this media shit because all they do is cover you.
I think media changed now. Like, it's, I don't know if I'm necessarily lucky or it's just hip hop is just a place of the new and the youth. Mm-hmm. So that's one of the reasons I try to always like never get too egotistical where you're not following the new trends, because that's what radio stations did. They got mad egotistical. They were like, yo, like, man, I would have been working for some of these places at the time I was trying to just be in the building for free. You know what I mean? But they were looking at you like, they used to shit on you and be like, yo, what experience do you have? They would look at you like this. We don't give a fuck that you entertain hundreds of thousands of people online. Have you ever interned? Right. And you're like, well, I guess I've never.
Intern doesn't do anything. I just want to tell y'all, like, interns, coffee, paperwork, you got to print the papers, you got to fax stuff, but you're really not, like, on set. You're not on mic. You're not talking. You don't get any of that experience. You got to just do it. And that's where it, like, really comes from.
Which, by the way, internships aren't supposed to be like that. Internships should be, you know, actually doing the job you want to be at, not getting hazed and doing bitch work and being around the people. You know, it's turned into a place. Internships these days has turned into almost, you're the only possibility of you furthering your career is networking, not actually getting better at the skill. So like if you want to become a better broadcaster, they're never gonna have you on mic.
Never.
You get me? You're gonna be making coffee, and the only thing you could go home saying is that, well, at least I talked to a bunch of important people that do what I want to do. I was horrible at networking, and I think what I did, I allowed it where you could be in Wyoming, Idaho, Ohio, Milwaukee, Atlanta, Chicago. You could be in wherever you want to be. You don't have to come to New York to try to chase that dream. Be good. You know what I mean? And it's not about your location as much as about your talent. So you get to intern from your bedroom. And it takes away the excuse of people who say, well, I can't afford to move to New York. I can't afford to do this to try to make my dream.
The internet made everything possible.
Go get a camera. Work on your skills. Be obsessive. Study. Grind. It's always a grind. Hey, be willing to make sacrifice. There's always going to be some sacrifice.
Right.
And be persistent. You know what I mean? One thing about my story, and that's why I always mention, like, you know, some part of the failures in terms of YouTube channels being deleted is because it would be a whole nother interview if I had to tell you about every single time I tried and failed.
Right.
You know, I always told people I tried 67 times and failed, but nobody cares about that. They only see Akademiks, the guy who I am now.
I heard you like refer to being lucky a few times, and I don't think it's even luck. I feel like, especially in New York, because you are so close to New York, you're gonna be compared to like Charlamagne, Joe Budden, people in the New York scene. Yeah, but like, if in my opinion, at my age group and what I think the demographic is looking towards, they're going towards Akademiks before they go towards them. Charlamagne has changed his career more on mental health. Joe Budden, you know, I think he's went left a little bit for the situation with Maul and Rory and stuff.
Why do people think that? No, I had him in here recently. No. Well, I shouldn't ask why they think that. I think I've seen
the numbers. His YouTube numbers have definitely declined.
Yeah,
for sure.
I'm wondering why that is.
The two new guys are not entertaining.
No, I love that show.
You
better.
think more than Maul and Rory?
Yes, I'm gonna be honest.
Why?
And there's
because you don't like them.
There's nothing against Mealy, Maul, and Rory. Okay,
because you don't like them.
Here's the thing. In reality, I listen to the Joe Budden podcast for the name itself. The Joe Budden podcast. What I like is for the people who are with him to not be Quavo and Offset. Don't just ad-lib it. Challenge the guy once in a while. And I remember when those two guys were on it, here's the difference I really think that happened. The new guys are older.
Yeah.
So they're not as in tune. They're also attracting an older demographic, while those other guys were younger. Joe's always been the older guy. And Joe's not even, I think Joe maybe like 40 now. But like he's always kind of, you know, I think maybe because of some of the hip-hop purist backpack shit he's been on, you kind of just put him in the older category.
And just how he talks about the new hip-hop. He talks about it in such, well, I'll say he has changed his narrative, but when he first started, he talked about it like looking down.
Yeah. No. You're right about that. But that's what I'm saying. I think him mixing with those guys was more about the range and base they would cover as opposed to the new guys. But I like the show with the new guys better because, granted, they might be arguing about some shit you don't care about, but I like arguments. I could listen to an argument all day.
I feel like Rory used to argue with him, but Rory was just more comedic with it. And then at the ending of it, like, will he ever stand on his point? No. He would let Joe win because Joe would get more aggressive. But
well, that's the point.
Yeah. The argument was made.
That's the point. And, you know, I think you have to, people hate an echo chamber. And you know, I've always said, like, I just had this conversation with Whack 100 on Clubhouse. And I told him straight up, I said, yo, there's a bunch of dudes who are with you, they're yes men. And not that they don't ever disagree, but when you know someone is so much more, and it comes down also to like for example, if I was a no-name person on Joe Budden's podcast, there's only so much you could challenge him. He could always do a few things to silence you in terms of like changing the conversation. You're also cognizant of do you really want this argument to escalate all the way? You know what I mean?
And how Joe like presents himself, he's gonna get red. He's gonna start spitting. It's all of that, like all that aggression behind it.
Exactly.
So it's a little different.
Exactly. So I don't know, but I think we're in just a different space right now, and you know, I think he's super talented, but we'll see what happens with his podcast.
You're a numbers guy, though.
I'm a numbers guy.
So numbers based, you think his podcast is better? Audience.
Do I think the numbers reflect what the numbers used to be? No.
And just entertainment. I don't think it's
no. I like it. I'm telling you, I like it.
Really?
But the numbers, you're right. The numbers are different. I'm giving him, and maybe because it's my man, so I'm shooting him some bail. Mm-hmm. I believe because he moved part of his operation. Like, for example, I did a 4-hour interview with him. We're giving it up. It's the first time we linked up since Everyday Struggle. Mm-hmm. We did something on, you know, my shit too, but like on his shit, we're going in. He doesn't put it out. He puts it on his Patreon. So if you're not paying exclusively to get it, you're not even going to see it. Now, that's, to me, some of the best content. Like, people are sending me all type of stuff from it, like his little fan base, Reddit and shit like that. They're all talking about it. But could you publicly find it? You haven't seen a clip.
No.
Exactly. So
it's just you and him?
Yeah, it's just me and him.
Pull up.
No. It's me, him, and the two new dudes.
Oh, okay.
So, and in reality, you know, I think he's just making a lot of money off Patreon. Interesting time in content and podcasting. And it's times like this that people are waiting on somebody to fuck the game up. They're waiting on a disruptor. And I think there was a time where, if I would say anything about Joe Budden's, you know, difference, I think there was a time he was coming in like, yo, fuck all these corporations. It's about a creator, this and third. And I think people stopped believing him. And I think that's why it looks a little different.
Because we can't stand with you when you're coming for these corporations and then we find out you're doing the same thing. That's where it becomes like, you know, when...
I don't think he robbed them niggas, though. I'm going to be honest.
I think they were misled in their minds. I don't think he ever
told them... Them boys thought they were bosses, they were workers. There's nothing wrong with it.
I don't think they deserve shares.
Hold on.
That's insane.
You want me to tell you what happened with them dudes? And this is... Let me tell you this. Always be secure in yourself to realize, and this is why I remember I had so many conversations with Charlamagne on the phone about that Dame Dash interview. It was a Dame Dash interview where he was just like, where he was like, yo, how could your son look at you and call you daddy when you work for another man? Like, you know what I mean? It was disruptive, though. It was destructive, and it was also inspiring. Mm-hmm. Because the real truth lies in between. And I felt like Charlamagne represented so left, and we had Dame Dash who represented so right. People these days were trying to take one or the other. Like, I'm one of the people, like I hear people try to give me the compliment. Yo, you know I respect you? Like, you got it from the mud. You made this all yourself. You're the boss. Okay, great. But I'm then going to also tell you, oh, yeah, I definitely partnered with Complex, and I was a worker there. Because you know why? Everybody knew my voice. I remember going to Vegas with my girlfriend at the time. Everybody knew my voice. Nobody knew how I look. And I said, I need to get with a company in a situation that's bigger than I was trying to cross over.
Right.
I couldn't cross over just by myself. I used an enlisted Complex. But was I a boss there? No, I was a worker. It's fine. But these days, people are so like, everybody thinks, if there's all bosses, nothing's going to get done. You get me? Because everybody wants to be a boss in terms of we get all the money and we tell people what to do. What? You got to realize you got to be able to manage it.
Right.
And I thought that was kind of like, you know, just destructive in a sense, but...
Don't get too big-headed that you lose your opportunity. And I kind of feel like Joe does that often, though.
Joe is Joe.
He definitely
and I've told him
does
that, too. I told Joe, I say, yo, the reason why I can't co-sign some of these rants, even though it's so entertaining, I love it.
Very entertaining.
Nobody, if I had one, well, maybe now things have changed, but like, the majority of people, if they had that rant, they would laugh you out of the building and fire you. Like, nobody cares about you that much. You know what I mean?
They're still taking meetings with Joe.
Yeah,
For sure.
So
For sure.
He like, if you're at the top of your game, you know what I mean? You see, Joe has earned his value enough that he could say certain shit. I know this is a fact. If you cuss out, like, first of all, what people don't realize, it's a country club amongst everything. You see, the owners of the football team, they act like they're not best friends. They're all cool. You think each owner is making an independent decision about Colin Kaepernick? They get on a group call and be like, yo, this bitch-ass Negro Colin Kaepernick is tweaking. None of us ain't hiring him. Nobody, like, that's a country club. Powerful people linked together. So when Joe gets on and says, Complex CEO is racist. You think this CEOs revolve. They all go from one place to another. You get me? So you think other people ain't be like, what the fuck? If he's saying about him, he gonna say about me. However, he's so talented that people give him a chance. The regular person, you ain't getting a chance after that first one. Jump on the table, kick your boss's coffee over, put your middle fingers up, call that nigga racist, and be like, yo, y'all got us here as slaves, and then go submit resumes to other places. Unless you are the fucking MVP dropping Steph Curry and LeBron numbers, you are going to be unemployed. And Joe gets away with that. So it's one of those things I'm like, I fuck with you because it works for you. But that does not work for the majority of people.
It works for him because he'll literally stand on his own, though. He'll be only on his platforms and not care.
You're right. But, man, let me tell you this, man. I just know when I did a video on the baby today, and I said the peoples. That's what I'm calling them now. When them peoples realize that you won't get in line, they're gonna make an example out of you. And it's only so many, like even with Joe, it's only so many chances you get before everybody's like, we're good. I'll use a music example for you. Lil Pump did the greatest finesse, one of the greatest finesses of all time. Got paid like $8 million.
For what?
He signed to Warner. They came back and they said, oh, this deal was illegal. He was underage when he signed. So technically, that contract was never ratified. He was underage, which means the contract's null and void. Okay, cool. You know what that means? Lil Pump got to own his masters. Think about it. He got paid millions for it and got to own his masters off of a finesse. So you know what they were doing? All right, so since we did that, and which company was it? They did that at Sony. Cool. So all right, nice finesse right there, right? They were like, cool, we're gonna just go get another deal. So basically, imagine like selling a shirt to somebody. They pay you $10. You find a loophole to get the shirt back, and you still keep the $10, and you sell the shirt to another nigga for the same $10. You finesse $20 for the same shirt, right?
Right.
That's what Lil Pump was doing. Except
with millions.
Yeah, with millions. Except, and this is what I'm trying to say about like, just having that reputation. When Lil Pump tried to leave that label, he did leave the label. First of all, the label said they banned Pump and his peoples from ever entering the building, right? Which means they couldn't come in there to do any business, which if you're a musician, you got to do a lot of stuff in the building, right? They tried to go to Warner, another company that's in competition with Sony. But here's the thing. Their competition or whatever it's not beef. It's not beef. And they won't fuck with somebody who broke the code of their country club. That's the point I was trying to make. Lil Pump had to go back to the same company.
Nobody else is going to sign him.
Nobody else will fuck with him. You know why? Because it's a code of conduct. Oh, so you think you're going to fuck him over to help me? Well, in reality, I do so much business. I do billions of dollars of business with him. You think that you're so important for your little $8 million that I'm going to piss that person off forever? Fuck no. I'm good. I ain't touching you. Go to another place. I ain't touching you either. No more options. You know what you have to do? All right, I came back. That's why I don't cuss out. Huh?
What did they make the new one for?
Well, they gave him an extension, sweeten it up, you know what I mean? Which they're not giving you nothing free. So they're like, hey, we'll pay you this and give you this up front for this, and you just sign back the right way. Because they knew they messed up a little bit too. But yeah. The basic point is, this for anybody in business, cussing out your employer is not the way to go. Okay? And it's worked for Joe before, but trust me, it won't work for you. It ain't work for Pump, and it won't work for a lot of other people.
So one thing that I would definitely say about, like, with your career path, I feel like you have pulled the rug under, like, these artists that supposedly are gangsta. Like...
What do you mean?
You will call somebody out and then tell them to pull up. And they're not doing nothing. And I feel like that's also why you and 6ix9ine have became so close. Because both of y'all, in different ways, of course, because you've done it in a media way with just reporting the facts, even though they don't want to hear that. And then 6ix9ine with, like, all his antics, that y'all have just shown, are there really gangsters in hip-hop?
Well, I think we do it differently. I think 6ix9ine is just flat out stupid. You know what I mean? and I mean stupid in, like, I'm saying it, in a loving, endearing way, if that's possible. But he's stupid in the sense of, he's calling out the guys I believe are gangster. But, I think his, predisposition to it all is like, yo, you a millionaire driving Wraiths, flying in private jets, your kids have nannies, like you're living a really good life. You're not going to shoot me.
Right.
And by the way, that's such a great point.
That's definitely a great point. But when you listen to the music, they're not saying that.
Of course not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and for me, I'll tell you why I started calling out certain rappers. I don't call out all. You know what I mean? I know certain rappers are really...
I don't think you really try to call them out. You're reporting the facts. And if they don't like the facts that you're saying, then they try to take it like offense to it. But that's only with you. All the other news outlets that pick it up, they don't do that with. They attack you.
No, you're absolutely right. And just to finish that point on, like, who I choose, like, I think rappers don't... Let me tell you this. Until you get to a certain... The music industry is like a veil. And for the whole time, I was trying to, like, find where this veil was because I wanted to see what the fuck was going on. It's like being backstage at a magic show. You'll never be impressed by the magic again.
Right.
Unless you find a few people who you're like, damn, I'm backstage and I still am wowed. How the fuck is he doing this? Those are real gangsters. Mm-hmm. But for the majority of the people in hip hop, you realize it's not that.
It's definitely not that.
And they create a facade, which, by the way, I'm not knocking. But at times you get to realize it's so thin. You just gotta pull a veil over it. Like as soon as you, like, you know what I mean. If somebody says they're gonna make a tennis ball disappear in their hand and they put the handkerchief over it and you see it moving and all of a sudden they pull it up and you see no ball, you're like, what the fuck happened? If there was no handkerchief, you would just see what the fuck they did with it. It didn't disappear. You know what I mean? And that's been me in the music industry. I've just seen a lot of stuff and I'm like, how naive was I? And again, it's not all. Definitely wouldn't say all. A lot of these dudes.
I would say it's 5, I believe.
Well, I would say the majority of artists, especially after their first run, they start moving different.
As you should. You're a millionaire. You're a billionaire. You got all this bread. Why would you want to lose it?
Okay, exactly.
But when they're attacking the media guy?
Yeah, and also, that's their weak way of... Because, most of these rappers, they're scared of other rappers. For sure. Like, they're scared of each other. You know why? They're scared each other has, like, some guy who's down to crash out. Because they don't want to get hurt. They don't want to lose their livelihood. These guys don't want to go to jail. You get me? Mm-hmm. But they want to seem real enough. So, like, they're playing this balancing act. And if you beef with Pooh Shiesty, yeah, he might see you and shoot at you. You know what I mean? But if you say, yo, Ak, when I see you, I'm slapping the hell out of you. Okay, I can't really gonna say nothing. I still get my tough points off. So it's just hip hop, you know what I mean? Hip hop is a little bit like wrestling, except I will say this year, we've gotten to the era of just real street music in terms of the people who are doing this shit or involved in very close proximity to the shit going down the street and rapping about it, they're winning. Before, like a couple of years ago, like some of these guys, like, they have the cleanest records in the world. They haven't even caught a parking ticket. You know what I mean? Like there was a time when niggas used to swag rap about, you know what I mean? I got my Gavinci jacket on and I pull out the Draco. Like, come on, brother. Like, come on. Like, you never even been to a gun range. But, it's not everybody. And that's why you got to know who you play with. I'll say that.
Who would you not play with?
Who would I not play with? Oh, that's a great question. Well, first of all, I'll definitely say on an intellectual level, I'll defend myself, and I believe I got to defend myself, defend my brand. That goes back to the other thing you said. Why do they come at me versus other people? They're the face to it. So again, I've always said, I don't know what people think about Vlad, but I've always said to Vlad, Vlad, I've seen him as a straight line on Vlad, but Vlad is just like, well, I'm making money, I don't care. Mm-hmm. And for him, as long as the money's coming in, which is a lot for him, like, you don't give a fuck. But I'm like, my reputation is the brand's perception.
But your face is your, like, page.
Yeah.
Vlad is just Vlad, like, it's the name. So it's a little bit different for you, too.
Yeah, you're right.
And you're a black content creator versus Vlad.
That's where we go.
So that's what it is. All black content creators is like the Shade Room and then Gossip in the City. That's not their name and it's not their face. you own both.
Yeah, you're right. No, you're right. A big part of it is that because we're black. Like,
they're not gonna come for flat. Like how they come for you.
I said to Adam one time, and he's on camera, you know, even though his name is not his brand's name, but everybody, it's synonymous. Like, No Jumper, Adam 22. He one time, joking around, had some girl on this shit, and they were fucking, like, you know, mentioning me. And he was like, you know, kind of, like, basically insinuating or leading her. It was kind of like one of those interviews where you lead somebody to kind of say something. And he kind of led her to kind of almost insinuate, like, yo, maybe Akademiks is into some, you know what I mean, Will and Jada shit, you know what I mean? I'm talking about some cuck shit, you know what I mean? Where, like, yo, I'm cool with, like, another man fucking my shorty, you feel me? So I went at Adam, and Adam's my guy now, but I went at him vehemently. I got at him seriously, and I was going in, and people were like, why are you so mad? And I said, listen, and he was even like, yo, I don't get it. It was a joke, Ak. I said, listen.
Who was the girl that said it?
You don't even know. It's Selena Powell. Like, he had her on the show, and then also while I was going through a negotiation, he had 6ix9ine's ex, who basically was trying to phrase it like, oh, Ak don't ever talk about men. He only talk about women. And it was just such like a bad narrative at the worst time, and then they're trying to throw. So I'm like, so I told Adam, you know, in a very heated way, I said, listen, you see, you're white. You see, if you say, like, first of all, he does porn, you know, that's my guy now, but like, if he comes out and says, yo, I don't mind other niggas fucking my girl, bro, you're white. Nobody cares. Right. A black dude, like, even being in close, like, look how we crucify Will. Yo, Will, you let August fuck your bitch? Like, yo, what's going on? Will. We look at Will like we look at him like a clown. You see, hypermasculinity, I'm not saying it's right, but, like, it's definitely exists in the black community. For sure. You know what I mean? Like, a white dude could get on camera right now and be like, yo, yeah, when I fuck my girl, I don't mind if she put a finger in my ass. A white dude could say that. A black dude, remember when Amber said, yo, yeah, I used to put a finger in Kanye's ass. I was like, what? What the fuck? Because he's black. Right. So I said that to Adam to say, yo, bro, first of all, don't lie on me. Number two, you think that that's a joke, so it's not a big deal because you're white. Nobody cares. Like, we expect you to be on that shit. Me, you can't do that type of stuff with. And to your point, too, yeah, my face is, like, kind of synonymous with the brand.
Your face is your brand. And I feel like that's why they pick on you more. And also, I would say this, like, as far as New York circuit, not even everywhere, if you ask me, but hip-hop culture, we look at you, like, the youth looks at you, and the older heads have no choice but to look at you. Because if you think about, I would put you with Charlamagne and Joe Budden. At this point in your career, I'll put you up there. And we know where they're going to stand on every situation. It's going to be raw. It's going to be uncut. We don't know what Act's going to say. We're going to watch Act. So at that point, it's more focused on you and on your platform.
Yeah. Like, I had a few conversations with people I respect. Whether it was, you know, like Van Lathan, I know this guy's not within hip hop, but, like, you know, Andrew Schultz, that's my guy.
Schultz talks about hip hop a lot, though.
Yeah, he does.
He does. On Brilliant Idiots, for sure.
And just a lot of people within the hip hop sphere, like, you know, managers of a lot of artists, and, you know, always sometimes, like, I be in the crib and sometimes I'm like, damn, I'm fielding so much calls after calls because I really like to be left alone. And a bunch of them have said the same thing to me, be like, yo, right now, like, your voice is that preeminent voice.
You're the guy.
Where, yeah, and honestly, it's tough for me to accept because I'll say this to you. Whatever you think, paint the picture of what success in what you want to do is, and when you get there, it's going to feel so surreal, and it's always going to be like, am I there? For the last, like, 2 years, I remember, 3 years, actually, I've been still at that point, like, and I guess that's why, like, you know, because I go off people's perception as well. So, like, I remember just signing the Spotify deal, I'm like, yeah, I did it. But was it Spotify that made me the guy?
I don't think so.
Similarly, was it Complex that made me the guy? It's one of those things where, like, you know, And I always wonder about like basketball players or like football players. I'm wondering, when did LeBron, like, I mean, granted, he did say he's a king and he pretty much put a crown on his own head.
Right.
But like, when did he kind of feel like, oh, I'm the guy? So like,
I think once he started getting a ring. If you had to ask me, I would say Spotify is like a ring for you. If we're gonna compare it to sports.
Okay.
So Complex was a ring. Spotify was a ring. You know?
That's fair. That's fair. But to me, I'm still like in the moment of, is this how it's supposed to feel? Like, what's supposed to happen next? It's like I'm as much new to being the person that people look at as I'm nervous about what am I supposed to do in this position, as also saying, well, I got here by not following conventional rules, keep doing it, but then also being a little bit like cautious because I'm like, well, this is the moment that they're anticipating you blow it. You get what I mean?
Because now you got deals on the table.
Yeah.
We see how the wrong sentence could change somebody's career now. Definitely seen that.
Yeah.
Honestly speaking, I feel like you can make or break careers, and do you feel like 6ix9ine's career would be where it's at without your platform? Because I don't think so.
That's a really good question. And people always, they always get confused with my relationship with him. And that, what you just said, that question, is exact reason why, we formulated that relationship. The most powerful position you could have in media, trust me, let me tell you what music is. A wise man told me this. And this is from a music executive. You sign 10 people, you hope one pops off. Just think about that math. You sign 10 artists, you need one to pop off, and the one who pops off will pay for the other 9 that failed. What does that tell you? That's less than a dice roll.
Right.
If you roll a die, the chances of you getting a 6, 1 out of 6. With an artist, and to be honest, you're pretty decent as an executive if you're 1 out of 10. Some people have signed, bunch of people are given, oh, hey, I'm going to take a chance with this. I'm gonna do. They've tried 50 times, never did, and it worked finally with one. And when I'm talking about working like somebody goes gold, you're actually on. You get me? So let's just go with 10%. The whole music industry is predicated on the probability that, like, think about a business model. Like, you see the real estate business model? If I buy a house, it's almost with certainty that 2 years later, I can sell that same house for the same amount that I bought it or more. Pretty stable. Now, if I invest in an artist, it's a 1 out of 10 chance that nigga gonna make it. You might as well go to Atlantic City, just run it up in the casino. But the industry has tried to bear that system and figuring out how could we ensure people succeed. So this is where 6ix9ine comes in. 6ix9ine was the proof of my platform's power. It changed everything. It's the proof that I could take an artist who at the time he was being, ostracized because he had some sexual misconduct with a child, like allegations in. Well, not even allegations, he pled guilty. And nobody wanted to talk to him, but he was making some music and he was with some Bloods. Nobody wanted to talk to him.
He was making noise in the city for sure.
And I remember hearing this song, I heard it online, I'm like, oh, this shit's fire. I'm bumping in my car. And somehow the label owner seen me. And he said, hey, if you're ever in LA, we should link. I'm like, fuck, we gotta talk about. Anyway, I'm bumping this shit. I'm like, oh, this guy is hard. I go to Complex Con. And 2017, and the guy hits me like, hey, you're in LA? You should come to, and I've called it the Illuminati spot. I've never seen so many industry people. I don't go to shit. So I've never seen this many industry people in, but apparently it was Delilah's in LA. I go there, all my people with me, everybody got chat nigga hoodies on, Everybody in there is suit and tied. Have a bunch of girls just dancing around, white girls, they ain't got no rhythm, dance around like concubines, just on some pick me shit, which billionaire is gonna pick me to fuck, I'm like, what the fuck is this in here? And in there, I see the guy, I'm like, oh, hey, what's good? I'm looking around, what the fuck? I said, what's the deal with this guy 6ix9ine, man? I said, that's the only reason I really came, because he has a hot song in New York. Why y'all ain't pushing it? He tells me about all the problems with it. Yo, the producer don't want to clear it because these allegations, there's Trippy, there's this, and blah, blah. And I remember trying to post him, and I couldn't post him. Anyway,
Stopped you from posting him.
Instagram would delete it. It would get reported that much. He was hated. Hated. It would always get. It was hate speech every time I posted.
This was at the same time as Gumbo?
Yeah, Gumbo. Yeah, I could post my Instagram.
Damn.
So the dude actually said, "Yo, Ak, you're a very smart guy in media. How can we fix this?" This is a label owner talking to me.
He asked you to be on the PR team.
Well, I mean, shit, I give unsolicited advice a lot of times. So, but I'm actually surprised. Like, I'm like, kind of like, I'm like, yo, when I write my book, this is the Illuminati scene I'm going to write about. Because I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I see Ebro over there, Steve Stout. I see the guy who was like just in a fight that was the bodyguard for the Migos. I see this guy. I see all type of people in the fucking, I'm like, I've never seen this many people in one, like, I kid you not, the fucking like, it was like kind of like a bar, restaurant type of thing. It's not that, it was probably from big to here, and it was so many people who are so powerful. I felt out of place. I was in a hoodie with a cheap, like, Supreme ripoff with my logo on it. And everybody with me had the same shit. And I'm like, what the fuck am I even doing here, right? And I give this guy the advice. I'm like, yo, you got to get this guy to just be a human. Get him to explain the shit that he don't want to talk about, that y'all don't want him to talk about. He might lose half of the people, but he'll gain the trust of the other half. And you need that. And they were like, wow, never thought about that. I was like, wait, you never thought about just having the guy talk? But it's like PR team shit. It was like, well, don't talk. We're gonna do all these things, and we're gonna try to wipe these things away. I'm like, no, people feel this way. You have to make him speak. All right, give him the advice. Week later, hit me back up. I said, all right. I said, what's up? Why hit me back up now? It said, nobody wants to talk to this guy. I said, damn. I said, yo, y'all got to find someone. Someone has to be able to talk to him. Give him a platform, give him a chance. And it was their roundabout way of saying, why don't you?
Honestly.
And at first I was like, whoa, wait, hold on now. I wasn't trying to do it. He's getting deleted when I post my Instagram. I wasn't trying to do it. They're like, yo, please. It would be the biggest favor you could ever do us. You're the only person we know with a substantial platform that he could talk to. Everybody else says no. And I thought about it, and I was like, nah, fuck that. Maybe I'm getting too close to some shit that, like, that's cancelable. That's like right around the time of cancellations, right? And I thought about it, I was like, well, why wouldn't you do it? And this is where, like, most of my decisions come from. Why wouldn't you do it? People used to look at you as the guy who nobody gave a chance to, who was a black sheep. Something had to give. And I said, oh, fuck it. And I did an interview with him, and make a long story short, people start liking him again. And he saw, based on how I treated the interview, because we did 3 different interviews. The first one was super raw. Second one of the blood guys, which I guess he's a blood and a PR dude. Don't ask me how. He came over and was like, no, we don't like the first one. Yo, say this, say this, say this, say this. And we did the second one. And then
They was like coaching him through it?
Yeah, well, we did 3. So the first one he did by himself. Mm-hmm. Second one, they're like, nah, say this, say this. Third one, they came and said, nah, don't say this, don't say this. It's one of those like, yo, leave this out, because he was saying words like bitches and shit. Like, yo, bro, you told me my situation like this, you're saying bitches. Come on, bro. Anyway, I had a conversation with them later, because they were like, we're going to the third one. Super PC, was basically saying nothing.
You recorded all of these on the same day?
Yeah.
Okay. 3
interviews back to back. He was with me. Yeah, 3 interviews back to back at some like restaurant. And then after we recorded it, I had a conversation with the label owner. And he said, I want your gut feeling, because I heard y'all did multiple takes. What should we do? I said, I don't want to get in between whatever he got with his managers or his PR guy over there, because they're like super tough bloods. I get it. But I think he should go with the first one. He was honest, and he wasn't perfect. But I know how I got popular is that I'm never perfect, but people know I'm honest. And his manager was like, fuck no, we're not doing that. Nope, hell no, hell to the no. And I said, hey, I don't know problems with y'all.
Who was his manager at the time?
It was a guy named Chris. He's the guy who kind of like introduced him to Shotty.
Okay. I thought it was Shotty.
Yeah, so that happened, And that's the first time 6ix9ine like got my number and called me. And he was like, yo, bro, I used to watch you when I was washing dishes at a deli. What do you really think? And I said, bro, I know your manager is saying something else. I don't want to get in between y'all. I don't want to be beefing with your manager because I tell you something else. But I can't lie to you. He said, no, just tell me. And I said, you should go with the first one. And he said, fuck it, it's the first one we're going with. And I'm like, you sure I want you? And he's like, no, first one. And that's the first time I realized not only, I realized he was smart. Because even though he had a bunch of people around him to control him, in his own way, he was making decisions too. So anyway, we put that out. It works. Gummo starts blowing up. They clear the song. He goes on a fucking phenomenal run. And while on that run, you know, me and him were like a 1-2 combo in terms of media and artists. People haven't seen that. People
Literally on your page, you were posting him every single day, if not 3 times a day.
And by the way, I always tell artists, I'm like, yo, listen, you know, people fuck up and not realize the formula in that. Like people, oh shit, yeah, that nigga's gay, whatever. I tell any artist and any journalist, if you really want to be that journalist or that artist, latch on to one journalist. Give them everything. You see now, I be saying everybody wants to come to me. I be telling them, like, I don't care about y'all. Like, I already made it. If you latch on to, like I've always said to people on the West Coast, there's like this dope West Coast guy. Latch on to that person and give them everything. And as they grow, you grow. And as they get eyeballs, you get eyeballs. And here's the thing about media different from an artist. An artist is usually hot for about 3 months and they disappear, go make music. Media is every day. When you work with a platform, you help them, they're going to help you back. It's visibility. And he was very smart about that. It's a Donald Trump effect, if you ask me. Donald Trump got billions of dollars of promo out of CNN for free. 6ix9ine looked at it, the relationship to say, hey, act. Everything that goes down, you're going to get it first. You know what he also looked at it? These niggas want to pay you an arm and a leg. Just hope to get on your page. You're going to put me on there for free because I'm giving you everything first. You get the exclusives. So when he had a fight at LAX, I don't know how he saw it, but there's a TMZ guy that was recording it. Calls me 15 times. Yo! Actually, I was sleeping at that time. He was like, yo, I'm calling you because I wanted you to get it up before TMZ. I want you to get the exclusive. What that did, the ripple effect in the industry, is people like, yo, this nigga Ack, if he focuses on one particular artist, could bring an artist from nobody wants him, get him out of here, to right when he got locked up, he had a song with Nicki Minaj, Fifi. Mm-hmm. That was a number 2 song in the country. Between that, I've always told people, the next artist I want to do that with, I want to sign. Because the amount of money I probably made somebody's disgusting. I ain't gonna lie to you. I made them a shit. Like, I mean, my platform went up in value, so I made my own shit.
Yeah.
But his label owner, licking chops. He was licking the chops like he's doing good.
That's when the block started copying with everything after that. Mm-hmm. For sure.
Yeah.
Would you ever, like, take somebody that's already been canceled, like the Baby, Tory, and try to rebrand them on your platform?
The Baby, yes.
The Baby?
Yeah, the Baby, yes.
I don't think he deserved to be canceled.
Me either, but I don't think he helps himself. I don't think he helps himself. And I'm really, like, it's one of those situations, like, I just seen a new shit today. Violence is always too close to him. And unfortunately, being even within arm's length of 6ix9ine, I remember event after event. And I'm like, damn. And he would just always call me. I'm like, bro, are you good? I just seen this. He's like, yo, don't worry. We did that. Like it's all good. Like, it's all good when you're socking niggas out.
Right.
What usually ends up happening, the police start looking at you. They start following you. They start investigating you. They're looking for a reason. They're building a case. And then unfortunately, sometimes you get to a point, for example, like with King Von, where your reputation precedes you. Oh, so that's the type of time you want? I bet. So if I'm about to run into you, I got to go all the way because I know what you're on. And listen.
R.I.P. Von.
Boxing with Floyd Mayweather is only 50-0 we're going to see, man. We ain't going to see someone just undefeated their entire life, especially when we're getting violent incidents like that. A person shot last week, person socked out like 3 weeks ago, beat up his baby mama's brother, you know what I mean? Beat up a nigga who was trying to pay him for some show. Like, listen, at some point, nigga gonna have a problem with you and they gonna be like, when I go see him, we're not fighting. And we're hoping to not see that day. So, you know, I think he's great at content because he captures everything.
How is the question? Somebody, Schultz was saying that he thinks he's planning it. That was the hot take.
No, he legitimately believes in a camera crew everywhere. For real. Got a camera crew everywhere. And he's great. He has a 6ix9ine-esque ability in flipping shit. See, one time he was missing a show. He was missing a show with some bullshit. If he didn't flip it the way he did, people would have said, yo, he fucked up, yo. Why he doing this? He fucking flipped it, did some shit on a plane, told me, the plane can't take off, blah, blah, blah. He filmed the whole thing. It seemed organic. We love him for it. The reason why his music videos, check out the music video for Bop. It's like you got a Jabberwockies in there.
Yeah.
He's so fucking into the shit.
And his performance is crazy.
He knows the very delicate ability of controlling the narrative when you have all the film for everything going on. By the way, when he fought Danny Lay's brother, the cameraman was slipping on the fucking lanes.
Yeah. The proof is in the pudding. You can't miss.
Exactly.
Why you said not Tory? You think it's too deep? Well, he can't talk about anything either.
I would say not Tory because you're fighting against something. Mm-hmm. I don't think the baby's fighting against anything. I think the baby is just misunderstood, but a lot of people understand him. So, like, he's misunderstood in terms of some people think he's violent, and some people just think he's a real nigga. I think you could make that, like, I think he does a decent job by himself of, like, you know, always making it look cool. You know what I mean? He's not getting arrested, at least thus far. Shit, he works with, like, shit, if me and him was fucking kicking every day, that nigga would be viral daily. Like, shit, the whole shit where he shot that nigga who hopped over it, like, we'd be stretching that bitch. You feel me? Like, nigga, like, I'm sorry. Like, we'd have got the surveillance footage of that nigga hopping the fence now, okay? We'd have had that up on the gram. You know what I mean? So, but that's some shit where, you know, hey, he's not in the wrong. Somebody's invading on his property, but you could use it as content. That's always the best promo, right? Thing with Tory, for Tory to look good, you almost making Tory looks good, and this is why like me and Meg got into it back and forth, because anything I say complimentary of Tory, she feels offended by. She thinks I'm doubting her. Bad. So it's kind of hard for that. This whole case, like you got to wait on this case. You get me?
It's such a messy case, though. And it's so out there. Like, did you watch her Gayle King interview?
I did.
I feel like I believed her up until one question, and we all know
you're
that
a woman.
question.
So I want to hear your breakdown on that. Listen, you're a woman, and by the way, you know, unfortunately, this is really like, you know, this is something not to be glamorized at all. Unfortunately, a lot of women in America, especially black women, have had experiences with men who have either been intimidating, threatening, or violent towards them. So you have that shared experience somewhat, but then you also know how normally that's communicated too, and the feelings with that, right? Because the way when I'm looking at it, I'm just thinking about facts. You know, I'm like, she said certain stuff that was contradictory. Shit, I'm not thinking that, hey, maybe some of the personal trauma is making her like not remember. I don't know if that even exists. You know what I mean? I'm a guy. I'm just being. I got to give my personal biases when I discuss it. A woman, you're gonna empathize. Like, yeah, no, shit is traumatizing. Like, you might remember bits and pieces at different times. Like, yeah, so you might not hear the same story repeatedly. Like, shit, this time she's talking about she's never mentioned before the crawling on the ground, the Tory offered me $1 million, you know what I mean? She denied even doing anything with him. So
I don't expect her to mention the $1 million things because she never really wanted to speak on it. She was only speaking on it because Tory had spoke on it and had an album about it and did so much publicity around it that she felt the need to sit down with Gayle King. Now, I also feel like that there's just no way there wasn't a relationship there. I'm not going to sit here and tell somebody they have a body that they don't have. I'm not going to say that. But there was a relationship there.
Come on.
More than a
you
friendship.
Gotta keep it PC. Listen,
Like,
you're a woman. If you and a nigga beefing like that, it gets to that extreme. Just think about certain
we're not friends if he's shooting me.
Yeah, but think about just certain loose details out here.
Yeah.
The best friend is on live. Like I put that like on one of my pages. Your best friend's on live saying, yo, you was fucking with Tory behind my back. What does that mean? You're just talking to him as friends? You know what I mean? So it's one of those things. So
you wouldn't lose your best friend if you wasn't not fucking with him.
Hey, and that's one of those things where it's delicate though, because hearing that, I'm not gonna say Meg's a liar in totality.
But when you lie about one thing, everybody's gonna doubt you for everything else, and that's why if she just kept it 100, I fully was.
What do you think happened?
I think there was an argument in the car with Kelsey and Tory in the back, and then Meg was getting pulled into it, and she didn't want to get pulled into it.
Okay.
So she tried to leave the car, but can I 100% sit here and say I think Tory just shot her because she was trying to leave the car? No.
Well, here's the thing. She did get hurt, and
she definitely got hurt.
And the police could say there was a gun fired. And there's some stuff from the hospital that said there was bullet fragments. So who pulled the trigger? Just your opinion. This is just, we're guesstimating. Because somebody had to do it, right?
Somebody had to do it. Do I think Kelsey did it? Like, I hope not. But I don't see how you're not friends with, like, at some point Kelsey has to get involved in the story. And that's where I feel like her Gayle King interview failed at. How you don't speak on that friendship. That's a huge part in the story. So I don't want to say Tory, but if it's not Tory, it's Tory's security.
It's interesting. I don't know.
Nobody knows. We're never going to know until it's like proven in the court of law. But
you know what's so funny? I think there's a possibility, and I've been saying this recently, there's a possibility that this comes to a conclusion, that particular case, and we never fully know.
I feel like we're never going to know. That's
right?
what I was saying the other day, too. I feel like we're never going to know.
I think there's always going to be some speculation, right? I think the prosecutor is going to hint towards certain things, and whether Tory gets found guilty or not, I don't know if we're going to have the 100% proof, which, again...
You know when we're going to know? If Kelsey speaks out and says something.
Her lawyer spoke out.
She's such a silent party in all of this, and she's such a big part. But if she says something, that's where it's going to be like, all right.
Her lawyer did give a statement to say, this ain't got nothing to do with my client. Which...
How not? It has something. She's a big part. It's no way the whole relationship, friendship, everything changes, and Kelsey's not a part of the argument.
And this is where I get in trouble for being objective. Put it like this, right? Say I'm dating a girl, right? And I'm riding with my mans right there, right? And some crazy shit happened. If my man stopped talking to me and me and the girl are beefing, and even if he hates me, I would think that he would be like, yo, I might not fuck with him, but he gonna back me up on the story I'm saying. She hasn't even said Meg is right. Like, just that. Even if I don't know why they're not fucking with each other, even though allegedly it's because Tory was fucking both of them. But
honestly,
at least
that's
come
the
out
only story that makes sense.
But at least come out and say the simple thing. Meg's right. She's not backing up her best friend or former best friend or anything.
Let's go with what her interview said. She said there was an argument between Kelsey and Tory in the back seat that was escalating so much she felt the need to leave the car. What was escalating so much that you felt the need to leave the car?
That's lies, though. It's lies. This is just a fact that I know, and I'm working on getting it. You know, Meg's gonna flip when I get this. I believe the blood alcohol level of everybody was recorded, even though they weren't driving. But they did take Meg to the hospital, right? And I believe Kelsey and Tory, in giving samples from that night, right, did get something done in that sense. They were all intoxicated. And we have to get into a drunk, like, I don't know if you've, clearly drink, right? We all drink, we're adults.
All right.
get into a drunk night with your friends, you know how arguments are.
Everybody's
it
just
don't make
talking
sense.
loud.
Everybody's chatting. You also like it's one of those type of things. And this is why I thought her Gayle King interview was premature, because I think she only did it like, why do it now? The case is getting close. Like we get through this little summer period, which by the way, no matter what you might say, oh, people are saying, Tory's blackballed, so you have won.
And he's dropping heat.
Well, he's dropping good music, but still, here's the thing. The industry has chose you. Doesn't matter what the fans say. Don't really matter what academics say or report. The industry has chose you. You have no need to go and do an interview to give a version of the story that maybe the prosecutors can't use to back up their shit. You might give a story that Tory's lawyers could use. You get me? So, again, because if I'm Tory's lawyer, I want you to speak. Because I'm going to use that, I'm going to bring it to court, and I'm going to say, well, judge, y'all say the witness said Tory shot her, but look at what she said publicly. She said her back was turned. Tell me when people have a rear view mirror of being able to see what's behind them.
And they're drunk.
And they're drunk. Right? Oh, now she says she was never intimate with Tory. You think Tory don't got one sex tape?
And that's what I was saying.
One text conversation of
if
them
comes
flirting
out
like yo, come fuck me like this again. Like, yo, you're gonna look like a liar. So now you keep talking. You about to look like a liar. And the only reason I could make sense of this, of why she talking, is because bigger than Tory going to jail, and part of it is Tory going to jail, but bigger than that is she wants the people to believe her. And when the people start doubting her, she doesn't like it. You get me? Which then makes me think like this. Well, if you care about the people more than your accuser or abuser going to jail, maybe how you frame this, how this came down, was all a play for your career in the beginning. Because everything you're doing is suiting your career and it's suiting the people believe. Like, she said it multiple times how upset she is that people don't believe her. And you know what she also said the last time? She said, oh, you know what? This is the last time I'm talking about it until court. People still didn't believe her. You know what she said? Gayle King, let's do this interview. Fuck that.
So I don't know. 100% believe it was Kelsey. Well,
No, I don't know. I really don't know. This is a nuanced answer nobody wants. Because in domestic violence situations, the reality of it is that it gets turned to black and white. And most times it's not. I'll give you an example. We all care that Chris Brown hit Rihanna. Mm-hmm. We don't care that Rihanna was the person who first initiated it. We don't care that Rihanna supposedly went through his phone, seen some shit, started beating him up while he's driving. And maybe, like, on a nuanced perspective, maybe that was, obviously went too far. I'm not defending Chris Brown by no stretch of the imagination, but maybe he was defending himself? That's nuanced. It's too nuanced. We seen the pictures. No, nigga. We don't care. That's not defending.
Yeah.
You're a fucking abuser, right?
Violating.
When we look at this Megan Tory thing, I think the hard part about it is because Tory isn't jumping on the sword. Like, you got to realize Chris Brown never came out and gave his side in court. He just took a plea. Mm-hmm. You get me? He never gave the details of the night. None of that ever came out. Rihanna did one popular interview and everybody already believed her, and because we didn't see anything wrong with Chris Brown. It was just like, we don't give a fuck about what Rihanna did anyway. Now this situation, Meg and Tory keep going back and forth so much, and the story's been told a million times.
In different ways.
Mm-hmm. So now this is the very first time we're actually looking at the person who's supposed to be the victim to say, you might be lying, or wait, nah, maybe you know what I mean? Like, and that's what I think Meg is getting frustrated by.
But there's a third party that hasn't said anything. And Chris Brown and Rihanna is Chris Brown and Rihanna. And Blac Chyna and Rob is Blac Chyna and Rob.
No, there was other people involved.
There was other people recording, but their stories match.
No, but hear what I'm saying. No, there were other people involved. We didn't get to even think about it. Right. Because Chris Brown realized, I'm not going to win this fight trying to battle with the legal system and my career in jeopardy by
And
saying,
the pictures.
yeah, and the pictures,
pictures told it all.
and yeah, the pictures wild.
Yeah.
But I ain't gonna lie to you, the video of like I still feel bad for Meg today when like I see the video of her limping and she bleeding. Like it seems like damn, like somebody should help her. Like you know, as a man, you're a protector, a provider. You see that like yo, somebody should help her. Like it looks bad. Honestly, if she never like got on live, did all this shit. And also, I think Tory's defiance. Like, Tory's just flat out saying, I did not do it. And Chris Brown never said, I never did it. Right. You know what I mean? He just kind of shut the fuck up. And Tory's just saying...
He took his L. Tory's not...
Yeah, it's like...
This isn't me. I didn't do it.
Yeah, he's just coming out and saying, like put it like this. In accusers and abusers, I'm actually kind of, you know, I don't want to make this comparison, really, but still. Look at R. Kelly and look at Tory. So R. Kelly, when Gayle confronted R. Kelly with all that, or even when he had prior interviews, like when he had the one with Tory, you know, from BT at the time, and they were like, yo, do you like underage kids? And he's like, what you mean by underage? Like, you know what I mean? That answer alone just tells you that nigga's on some creepy shit. Right. You get me? It's like the nigga didn't even want to tell you yes or no. You know what I mean? Like, it's like if somebody says, yo, do you like teenagers? You'd be like, fuck no. Like, what are you talking about? He said, when you say teenagers, what do you mean? So, like, that the answer alone is a little bit surprising. Tory isn't coming out. Like, Tory is vehemently denying it. So, with R. Kelly, never vehemently denied it. With even Michael Jackson. Well, I like to sleep in bed with children, but, you know, I would never do anything. Like, that nigga sounded like, yo, bro, that sounds weird. Tory's just saying this is a complete frame job and a setup. Now, again... Because I wasn't there with him, and, you know, for me to fully stand with him would be putting my, like, situations and my fucking reputation on the line. And as much as I feel like I've talked to very reliable sources who have told me it's the most repeated version in the industry of those who know, I still wouldn't put my life on it. You get me? I'm not going to say, oh, Tory's completely innocent. So I just want to see. But it's the first time we're getting to the point of we have to wait till trial. For, like, the R. Kelly shit, by the time I got to trial, I was like, yo, man, lock this nigga up, man. You get me? First of all, the first time he had a whole tape. The nigga was trying to say there was a mole on his back. Okay. Yo.
He married Aaliyah when she was 15.
With Michael Jackson, nigga just like, yo, well, some people like, yo, I ain't gonna lie, MJ's kind of great, man. Leave that nigga alone. You feel me? But like, MJ got a little pass. He did get a little pass. Well, Bill Cosby, by that time, niggas was like, Bill, get the fuck out of here, nigga. Like, niggas was tired of these people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Tory is so vehemently denying it that I'm gonna be honest. And this is why we love high stakes games. If Tory gets found guilty, and like, say there's a smoking gun, in terms of there's a video, which we haven't heard about, but let's say there's a video and it shows Tory doing it. Tory might as well quit. He gotta go back to Canada. He's done.
It's done.
Right? That's if we know he did it and he's just been lying bold-faced, he's done.
But if he's lying, it's for no reason, because it would be different if he's lying to keep his career alive. He's blackballed. Tory's been dropping heat.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
And not getting played nowhere.
If he was guilty, right? And let's say he's guilty, right? And he's been lying. The best way for him to go about this is to fall on the sword, apologize, right? Do the time and whatever you're going to do, and then come back. Like, you got to almost be like, yo, it was a mistake and I'm sorry. Like, I know Chris Brown, and the talent level between Chris Brown and Tory is not the same, but Chris Brown still does music. Right? Okay. Still does music, right? He admitted it. He apologized. He's trying to move on. If there's a smoking gun that proves Tory did it, Tory's done. He's done. Like, what I mean done. Now, here's the thing with Meg, and this is one of the things I'm definitely going to enforce. If Meg is lying, it's no fucking way we can have women lying like that. And we crucify niggas.
I don't think she could get canceled. Even if she is lying, I don't think she could be canceled. Yeah, you think Meg could be canceled? She got a Grammy for nothing.
Now, Meg could be canceled.
I don't think so. With Beyonce and Jay-Z backing her, with all the white fans that
Meg
she
could
has.
Be canceled. Meg could be canceled.
She could be canceled in black culture. I don't think she could be canceled in white culture at this point.
It would be it depends on what degree she's lying to.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Like, say she's lying, and again, this is a big if, right? If it's wiped under the veil of, well, she was a victim going through trauma, she got it wrong. You get me?
Right.
That, is very forgivable.
B and J can spin that real quick.
But if it's she maliciously tried to get Tory's career erased and tried to use a sympathy card to boost her career and lied egregiously on the record, knowing that that wasn't what happened. And let's just say, right? Somebody who works with her or works and knows the closeness of what she does and some of the people she talks to knows of maybe a plan that they formulated. I don't know.
That's when Kelsey will speak out. That's the only way I feel like we're going to know the whole story.
Bingo. And if that happens, Meg's done. But again,
Kelsey comes out, and yeah, I think so as well.
Yeah. Well, we'll see though.
I feel like it all depends on Kelsey. You need to get Kelsey on your podcast.
I've asked.
You get the people I would never expect to sit down together. How you got Wack and 6ix9ine?
Wack is an interesting motherfucker, man. Wack's a person who I think a lot of people just thought was a modern day Suge Knight.
I thought so.
But I saw him online just kind of like, getting at random people, this, that, and third, whatever. And like, he was just the epitome of like, yo, I'm that thug dude from the West, Pyro, all that type of stuff. And it was like, okay, great. And 6ix9ine at one point was trying to get it. He wanted to confront the streets. He wanted to confront them with their hypocrisy. He wanted to reason with a gangster. Like at this point, me and 6ix9ine, we've done so much content. If me and him sit down, like, yeah, that's cool. But that's not going to shake the internet. Like, people want to see, someone who's a street nigga. Because, like, 6ix9ine tell me he snitch. I'm like, all right, nigga, I don't give a fuck. I'm not in the streets. That does not matter to me. But you tell a street nigga you snitched. And you explain it to him. He's supposed to hate rats. And you're a rat. So it's, entertaining content. Anyway, Wack was down to talk to 6ix9ine for a while. I knew it. And I proposed the idea. I was like, yo, I got a podcast starting like 2 months. Shit, I know 6ix9ine wants to do an interview. Yo, Wack, would you do an interview with him? By the way, he went to Gilly, Joe Budden, my son. He went to like every street, or street adjacent nigga possible for interview. They all said, nah, you a rat. But Wack was like, yeah, cousin. Or like, no, we call people nephew. He said, of course, nephew. So let's do a Rolling Loud weekend. I'm like, really? So yeah, let's do it. And we did it. And I think for Wack, fortunately for him, like, he just stands in his own truth of just, yeah, he's someone who's from the streets and he's a hood dude, but like, he's not gonna be beholden to what nobody says in terms of, yo, you gotta do this or you can't do that. And he did that fucking interview. And when he did it, I thought he handled himself brilliantly. I think he spun 6ix9ine. 6ix9ine spun so many people. I always told my nigga Charmaine, I'm like, Charmaine, you're like masterful at what you do. I aspire to like be as great as you, talent-wise. But like when you sat with 6ix9ine, he spun you like a gig. Like he controlled that interview, the pace of it. He knew when to talk above your head in the sense of saying shit you don't know, so you really can't give answers to. Switch the topic to here, avoid that, keep it right here. That's media training for 3 decades. And there's just a savvy kid who did that to like a fucking industry pro. So, yeah, so we did it. Shit went crazy. You know what I mean? And I give credit to Wack too because like he stood in his truth. Like in the sense of, I remember when we dropped it or we dropped some teasers, me and 6ix9ine was talking, we were like, yo, I think the street niggas about to kill Wack. Like, they can't even believe he did this. Right. You know what I mean? And I was like, yo, Wack, you need any like clips? I got some clips of like you shouting at him or like you sonning him to make you look good. And it was just like, nah, this is what I love. And I kind of saw a different side of Wack then because I think there's some people who the way they make content is shaped by people's perception about them. There was a time for me, it was like that, where I wanted people to perceive me as, either cool, funny, or whatever the case is. And if the content wasn't like that, you didn't like it, right? Like the Migos thing that came out, I didn't like it. I didn't want like we were in a hotel room deciding where we should put this out or delete it. And I was just like, nah, I don't want this to come out. It's gonna make me look stupid. Like it makes it look like I don't understand the Migos, and I really like these guys.
It just seemed like you didn't know what was going on.
Yeah, really, we didn't have in-ears. Like, imagine like 1,000 people like in this, in this fucking like space right here, and everybody's doing their own interviews wherever. Everybody, so you can't really hear. Now, professional level, I know our headphones not working, but like you'd have headphones on so you could hear what the other person saying in the mic. Nobody has that in. So Takeoff, like he would just raise the mic, and every time he was fucking talking, he was just like, it's like, oh, I'm like, what the fuck? Like, yo, he looked like he about to shout, but just whisper. I'm like, yo, so I'm like, nigga, what you say? Huh? What you say? And like, I watched it later because now it
was so funny.
Now my voice sounds crystal clear. His voice sounds crystal clear, and I'm like, yo, I look like a clown, and I felt and I didn't want to look like that, right? And then the whole thing goes down where like they get at Joe, and like the whole time, like yo, very early on, I'm just trying to be a professional, like what I mean, like it's my first job, like in the industry, and I'm whatever. And people like I just knew people were gonna be like, yo, look, he's so nervous, this and third, and I didn't like it. And they convinced me like, bro, no, fuck it, just put it out.
That was great content though.
And that's what I say to all young creators, especially women, because women do that thing where it's like I've noticed taking pictures with women. Like they're not looking at me to make sure they look good. As long as they look good, your eye could look like this. They don't care if your mouth open. They don't care as long as they look good. So they're very cognizant of how they appear on camera in terms of pictures, but they're definitely gonna be very cognizant of how their image or how they come across. When you get to making content, you have to realize the
content comes before you.
Exactly.
Yeah, for sure.
And it took me a second. Like now I'm like whatever. Like shit. Even the beginning of Everyday Show when Joe was shouting at me, I was like, yo, I used to go home and like my audience would tell me like, yo, we don't like that. He be talking to you like that. Like yo, cause they're like, yo, you're the man to us. Like fuck that. And I'm like, damn, yo. They're like, yo, you should leave the show. Fuck it. But then I would realize I'm on Twitter. I'm like, these people ain't in my audience base, but everybody's talking about it. That's what you want to be. Do you want to be the star, or do you want to be just the guy with the niche? And now I ain't gonna lie to you. Like I always tell Leaf, like when we do off the record now, as soon as we step in that room, this is one thing I've been trying to tell him every time. Start the recording, even if you got to walk in front and fix the mics. Just start the recording. I will not miss out on some good content no more. You know what I mean? Like fuck that, because in reality, a fucking viral moment, not saying we're chasing a viral moment, but
you don't have to chase it. The people you're putting to sit next to each other, they're going to give you the content.
Yeah, and that's why you got to get out the way of the content. Get out the way. You know what I mean? So many people have so many egos, and that's why they can't be content creators. See, these two tables right here, I had Wax sitting where you're sitting, Hassan right here, and 6ix9ine was here, and then his mans was here.
Bro, when the mans was like, we don't jack rap.
That's hilarious, right?
And your face is like...
No. My face at that moment was, this is fucking gold. Like, yo, when I saw that, I looked up and I said, I can't fucking wait to negotiate with Spotify. And that's what I just said to myself. I was like, yes. Because now I'm able to take the ego out of it. Mm-hmm. I remember the first episode with Wack and 6ix9ine. People were like, yo, Ak, you didn't talk a lot. And I was like, first of all, I talk a lot. Like I'm talking a lot even during this. But it's like, you have to realize, let the content go. I learned that from Charmaine too. Sometimes people, they only want shit to be great when they're the guy who's having the moment on top of the hill. Right. You get me? Mm-hmm. Fuck it. You could be the guy who probably helped just push it, start up the mountain. But it got to the hill and got the trophy. You gonna get credit if you got a good team. So now...
That's what you said when you started. You was like, I'm not even here to speak. I'm just here to narrate.
Yo, I'm gonna tell you. So and a lot of people out of ego, they would edit this out or whatever. There's a moment I'm talking like right here because I was sitting right here. Mm-hmm. And the goon,
he kept trying to take the mic
no, he grabbed the mic out of my hand. Now, put it like this. You see, that's a moment where a lot of people, you would think, right? Like a lot out of ego, some people might be like, Well, whoa, everybody stop. Everybody stop. This is my fucking show. I need to have a mic and don't ever do that again. Matter of fact, get off of here. You know what I mean? That's out of ego. But you've just fucked up the content. Because you're not realizing that, at this point I realize I own the shit. So, like,
you flexed and said that during the interview. So you was like, I'm the OG of this media shit. You see all these cameras?
Yeah, so I'm like, let's make it happen. By the way, that's what people don't realize as much as, I've thought about it during the years, the Vic Mensa situation. Mm-hmm. Everybody, like I see people say, man, Vic Mensa called you a bitch to your face. And then, I've thought about it so much, I'm like, okay, so people say that, what should I have done? A lot of people say, a nigga called me a bitch. It's over. The interview is over.
You gotta get the content.
Nigga, I'm here for the content.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm here for the content. Did I run out the building? No. It's chilling after. Nothing happened. You gotta be able to realize you won't get to that mountaintop. Like, Charlamagne don't get to where he want to get to if Birdman don't say, I'm checking on 3 of y'all.
And that was just a 5-minute, maybe 2-minute clip?
When Beanie Siegel say, this above your pay grade, like, talking crazy to him. When Fredo started, be like, I want to catch a fade. And then I ain't gonna lie, Charlamagne handled like great because he say, we could go catch a fade. And he just turned around and just talked to somebody else. But it's one of those moments where it's like, you always got to realize, like, I learned it from Diddy. You ever watch Making a Band? I probably don't even know what that is.
I watched it.
Making a Band, Diddy had the best line. Because it was like one of the fights that would happen, and the nigga turned the camera off and started breaking the fight up. And Diddy came, and Diddy said, so Diddy comes into the house, and he said, y'all gotta stop fighting in here. Matter of fact, no studio for a week. Then he whispered, he said, who won the fight? And then they said, no, we broke it up, blah, blah, blah. He's like, what the footage? So now we turn it. He said, never stop the footage. He said, we got all type of shit in the world. We got defibrillators, all type of shit. Get a nigga heart start beating back again. Never turn the fucking cameras off. Diddy's a showsman. You get me? I'm not saying that you jeopardize life and everything for content, but you also got to realize why you're doing this. This is entertainment. Right? And until, like, to be honest, shit, no matter how it goes, I just want the cameras to film. Now, I'm hoping nothing gets violent or whatever the case is, but a lot of people, their ego jumps in the way. And I was just learned over the years, I'll never let that happen again. I'm more seasoned, I'm more confident, and little things couldn't. I remember when Soulja Boy came to Everyday Struggle, people, they put up on TikTok all the time. I liked that. I wanted that. That was me being a little bit more mature in myself, confident in the sense of, I know who I am in the entertainment space, but I want to get the best content. So my moderator, who's in the desk of Alexa, she was like, all right. She told me how she will moderate. I said, no. Big Draco been wilding online. Don't bring him in here and have him sit down like some kid in detention. Have him wilding here too. And plus, I've been calling him out saying he faking. Let us shout at each other. He said, you sure? I said, let him I said, if you want to call me a bitch, let him call me a bitch. I'm going to say something slick back, just let it rock. You get me?
You gotta
biggest episode. Biggest fucking episode. You feel me? It's the biggest episode since Joe left. So it's just one of those things, man. Like, I kind of love it now.
I have a question just to, like, jump back to Wack and 6ix9ine. The guys that was with him, do you genuinely think will ride?
What do you mean ride?
Ride, like, would they catch a body for him? Would they defend him?
A body? Hold on now. There's a lot of different.
Physically defend him.
Yeah. So recently in Florida, some dude, which, to keep it real, as much as people say they claim they hate him, it took some dude that had pink hair. He did a club appearance. He's walking by. He got security and his goons. And a guy with pink hair swings and, like, punches him.
6ix9ine.
First time he's ever really been, like, punched, other than, like, when he got kidnapped. Mm-hmm. Took a guy with pink hair. Them goons stomped a mud hole in that nigga, okay? Like, I mean, but that's easy at that point.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? If I'm walking with 15 people, you don't got to be a thug to jump on one guy. You know what I mean? They hit the cash cow, and it's 15 of y'all. And I got security with me. The security gonna make sure I'm good. 2 of the security gonna pin that nigga down, and then you're now the goon. You get to basically get some kicks in that you could tell me later that I could give you some brownie points. Yo, what you do to him? Yo, yeah, nigga, this is a shirt. I ripped it off of that bitch nigga. You know what I mean? So they'll do that. Now, catching a body's a whole different beast. Like, yo, you're hollering now.
Will they go up against real gangsters? I don't think so.
I don't.
They seemed really, like, real young when they was talking.
Here's the thing. And this will, I'll compare them to, like, Treyway and them. When 6ix9ine was like, yo, man, fuck YG. You used to see Shotty. I don't know if you ever followed him or anything. Shotty used to be on his live. Was like, you heard what Blood said? Fuck that nigga. Like, he's with him. You know what I mean? He's with him. Like, he was marching with 6ix9ine to anywhere. Yeah. These dudes, I think, like, for example, 6ix9ine was like, yo, me and 42 blah, blah, blah. I think them dudes just like, we're not in a beef like that with you, but if somebody attacks you in a moment, we'll fight. But that's what I think. I don't know.
What do you think about the Perkio situation? I think it's lame.
I think it was fucked up.
Perkio just came from Nigeria. He trying to get a little money for his family.
Is he from Nigeria?
Yeah. When he was on the live with Dirk, he said he had just moved here, I think, like 3 years ago. And everybody
Why is his English so bad?
3 years ago.
They speak English in motherfucking Nigeria?
But
I thought it was some Haiti and like spoke like French or something like that.
He do speak French, so it might be Haitian. No, it's Nigeria though. He said he's Nigerian.
Is he Igbo or Yoruba?
I don't know. He didn't get into that. But I remember him saying he was Nigerian.
Okay. But
yeah, his English is off. Like, he's just trying to get some money.
I like the kid. I like the kid.
It's good for him though. He can't play Dirk no more. No.
I don't like the whole situation. And by the way, well, first of all, I don't think there's a long lifespan in being someone's doppelganger, like the Dollar Tree version of Drake. I don't think he realized if you really want to be somebody's, like, you know, and by the way, this is my new, like, I've been thinking about it, you know. My new hot take is it's the ultimate bow to an artist when you have a doppelganger, like, getting money off you. Right. You know, like, you know, I've had these conversations. I even tried to ask Drake. I was like, yo, because I post, like, his little lookalike a couple times. I'm like, yo, you get offended by this? He didn't really answer. But think about Michael Jackson. There's imposters who get paid to perform as him now. It's the ultimate bow of, you're so great, we know we couldn't have you. But we're just good with seeing a replica of you, knowing it's not even real. Right. Because of what you embody. So that is cool to a certain extent. Here's my whole thing for, like, those individuals. You can't last as that forever. And I don't think Dirk is a sized artist you could do that with. Like, Dirk's not The Weeknd. You get me? No disrespect. But I think the Perkio kid, I think he was very new. Dirk embraced him, put him in a video. I think he was going to flip it and start doing YouTube videos or something. Mm-hmm. I don't like it because I think you kind of fucked up his career. And I think he's
definitely fucked it up.
Yeah, he's a innocent kid in the mix. But then and it's not because I'm close to 6ix9ine. I also look at it. Perkio was also on Instagram or TikTok. He was doing the TikTok songs where Dirk was dissing, you know, like, he's fucking doing the, please do not play that little boy in the club. It's like, so it's like, I feel bad for him as a human. When I saw, like, 6ix9ine and them goons surround him, I just saw
so uncomfortable.
Yeah, I saw somebody who he didn't, that wasn't his business. He was just trying to make it. And I saw everybody before they got into the industry, and I was like, that's fucked up. So I still don't, you know, I told 6ix9ine personally, I don't like that shit. And you know, that's including people in your situations who don't need to be. I think it's already destructive enough being 6ix9ine's friend. You know how hard it is for you know, everybody asks me, yo, are you really cool with that nigga 6ix9ine? And I'm like, no, I'm cool with him. Mm-hmm. And then they have a bunch of other follow-up questions. Even with him doing this, and third. And then I could be like, yo, yeah, I don't agree with a bunch of those things, but then people are going to be like, well, why is he your friend then? You know what I mean? And then I got to give them the weird explanation of, I've met him as a person, and what you're seeing online, you're seeing Tekashi. I met Daniel Hernandez, the person who's mad cool and you could, like, joke around with, who's not like this shouting, screaming. I remember I saw the transformation one day, and it was like watching Bruce Banner turn into the Hulk. I've never seen it before. complex kind of, I negotiated for him to come there. Shit, I forgot how many enemies he had. It was in Long Beach. He was dissing everybody in L.A. I'm talking to Shotty. I'm talking to 6ix9ine. He's like, yo, Ak, you there? It's fun. Oh shit, like yo, like we cracking jokes, like you cracking jokes like homies, like not, you're not even thinking about it, you're just cracking jokes. And by the time I got to the front of the building, there was like 15 Bloods, and I was like, how the fuck did this happen? The niggas who are the security, they're gang members too. They just have a security shirt, so they'd be like, yo, that nigga y'all looking for 6ix9ine finna be at the front of the building. So 6ix9ine gets there. So Shotty gets there first, and I'm talking to him, Shotty, the center. I'm like, oh, shit, okay. Shotty sees them, and they see Shotty. They start shouting. I'm in the middle of them, like,
I'm a pedestrian, hold on.
I see Shotty. Shotty got some shit with him, you know what I mean? There's a reason why, 6ix9ine was rolling with police and extra security. Shotty made sure he wasn't, because he was on some wild shit, you know what I mean? He on some air it out type shit. So I see some shit, I'm like, whoa, okay, let me just back up over here now. And then I had one security guy, he said, man, get your pussy ass out of the way. I said, with pleasure. 6ix9ine walks up. I see 6ix9ine park, and I'm like, oh shit, I don't know what 6ix9ine know he's walking into. Now, granted, I'm the person who facilitated him coming there, so I don't want nothing to happen, because you're always gonna have it on your conscience. So I'm kind of like trying to warn him, like, yo. So he's walking, and I think he kind of knew what was up. And I remember kind of like trying to maneuver around to where he's at to try to tell him, like, no, yo, chill, you might just want to go back to the car. And he just walked straight past me. And that walk and that posture was something different. It was not Danny no more. That was 6ix9ine. And all of a sudden he walks up, and he got the security with him, and there's like 2 cops that's also there. And all of a sudden he walks up and he's like, yo, what up, blood? And I'm like, I'm like, what the fuck is this? And he's shouting at the dudes. And he's like, what up? Do something. I'm in LA. What up? And I'm like, it's a crazy transformation I've ever seen. So I've always said, like, yo, when you're like your regular self, like, you're my friend. But like this other guy who antagonizes everybody, who makes fun of the dead, who basically is like, has like a death wish, and who's all this gangster, shout, yo, fuck you. Like, that's not the person I know. And I don't know if that's some split personality shit, or that's some rapper shit, or that's just another side of him that I just haven't been able to, comprehend. But hey.
I feel like for him to be doing that now, after the whole situation, is kind of crazy, though. But it's just a caricature.
6ix9ine is addicted to being Tekashi. Or Daniel is addicted to being Tekashi 6ix9ine. That's who he wants to be. I asked him here in that same interview, I was like, there was a plan for him to come out and just like be apologetic and switch lanes and just have a good music career, but not dissing everybody. But at the core, and that's what money and fame does. It exposes your real natural, needs and wants. At his core, he wants to be the motherfucker who's seen as tough, who's seen as gangster, who's seen as cool. And I always said to him, I was at a party with him. It was like a party with mostly white people. And I said to him, I feel like it bothers you that you're not the headliner right now in Club Live. We're in Miami. But he wasn't at Club Live. He was at some other little club. And I said, I know you want to be in Club Live. And a lot of artists get addicted to that feeling where you're at the top of the world and everybody's eating out the palm of your hands. And we saw 50 look desperate after a while. Around the time where Ross started looking desperate. Started going to Jay. After a while, it was just desperate. And then he found something else new, which was movies and film. Mm-hmm. And he realized that this was a new place he could be at the top. And that he already did music. But a lot of these guys, it's not the same.
I think hip hop thrives off of beef. I see beef mostly in hip hop, in the female rap community, but with so many.
Are they beefing?
Not now. But in the time that you were just talking about, in 2018 for sure.
Ooh.
In 2018?
Females?
Yes.
Okay, well, we only know 2.
Yeah, exactly. But those were the 2 biggest. Those were the only 2 until after that. And now it's a group of female rappers that came out, a new generation. But like...
Well, female rappers is a bunch of cattiness. They're all beefing, really. Just keep it real. They're all beefing.
You think they're really beefing or their fans are beefing and then they create it?
They don't like each other. I know it's a fact.
So you think it's fake nice right
They're
now?
all fake to each other. You know who said it? I can't remember. I can't remember the person's name exactly. It might be Asian dollars. It was somebody else. No, I think it was Lotto. It was like, yo.
Oh yeah, Lotto did say that.
Yo, all this like female unity shit is bullshit.
Yeah.
Like you just say it to say it, but niggas ain't really like they don't want to do songs with each other.
I was about to say it's not a lot of songs with them and each other. It's not a ladies' night. Which is crazy. If you look at how many females are in the rap industry right now, you would think it would be a 2022 ladies' night.
The only person who could unite chicks who don't like each other is Nicki.
I would,
like,
right.
They look at Nicki and they eat out of the palm of her hand. Nicki is the queen. And by the way, you know, I give credit to...
Thank you for saying that. Thank you for saying that Nicki's the queen.
I mean, but see, this it comes with caveats, though.
Okay. What's the caveat?
She's the queen because of her elder statesman status. I could make a very good argument that music, like on a acceptance music wise, Cardi might be hotter than her, but Cardi's not the queen. What I mean by the queen is that every chick comes into music wanting to be Nicki.
Right.
And Cardi will never be that. They want to be Nicki.
Cardi can't be that because she already took the blueprint from Nicki.
But here's the I think Nicki has to understand that hip hop is always about the next.
Right.
And
I think she's embracing it more.
No. I think personally no. I think Nicki is learning the art that Drake mastered a long time ago. Which is the best way to sun the new nigga who's lit is to put them under your wing and little nigga them. Not by ignoring them and throwing shots at them. That's what Nicki used to do. If Nicki had just did a song with Cardi and shitted on her, that's what she's... What do you think Nicki's doing with all these chicks? Come here, Cola Ray. All right. Shitting on all of them.
She did a song with Cardi, though, to be fair. She did a song with Cardi.
But that was drama in motorsport.
It was
drama.
so much drama. That's where I feel like the beef really got solidified. It was concrete.
Nicki's so interesting because I'm watching how she maneuvers. I think she should start a label and sign all these female chicks.
Facts.
Just sign them all.
Facts.
You know why? Because you will never feel you're in competition with your own pockets. Mm-hmm. Why is Nicki at 40 years old with a kid who's married still caring about like, oh, I'm the number one, I'm the number two. Like, come on now. You think Beyonce's out here like, who y'all think is who? Like, she's cooling. You feel me?
Realistically, talent-wise,
Rihanna don't even want to put out another project. Rihanna finally pregnant. Like Rihanna, like she's like been there, done that. But Nicki's kind of like Drake, where both of them, as great of artists they are, you realize how you know outside of music they have nothing.
They're following behind Wayne though. What does Wayne have outside of music?
You're right.
Wayne focuses on music. They came underneath Wayne. They're following his blueprint. Nicki says all the time she's the female Wayne. And there's nobody really talent-wise except for Meg.
Nah, Meg can't fuck with Nicki.
Meg can't fuck with Nicki when it comes to full bodies of projects. I think Meg has songs that's up there when it comes to like wordplay.
No way.
You don't think so?
Yo, you out of your damn mind.
Wordplay, I think she's
Meg the mid compared to Nicki. That's like basically saying Nicki. No, let me tell you this. Nicki. First of all, I get what you're saying, but you're dissing Nicki more than you're bigging up Meg.
I'm not trying to diss Nicki. I'm saying none of them compare to her.
I'm gonna tell you why. Because Meg's best work can't even be in the same arena as Nicki's best work.
That's a fact.
But Nicki's, you know, I would say most recent work and some of her average work will meet where Meg's best work is.
But that's what I'm saying. All of these women are average Nicki. They're not even close to the Nicki at her height, Nicki at her best.
Yeah, well, you're right about that. And this is why, you see, what she's going to realize is just inevitably what happens in music. I'm not the first and I won't be the last. She's not the first, won't be the last. There was Lil' Kim before her. She's having her time where there's going to be somebody else. Here's where you might be incorrect, or both of us might be incorrect about it. The next queen might not need to be as nice as Nicki with the bars. Maybe she's just better at making songs. Maybe it's going to be whoever who leads an entire generation of women. That's where the queen shit really lies. I don't really look at the music. Yeah, Nicki's the best rapper. I give her that. You know what I mean? Just overall, she is a female rapper. But the queen shit for her lies as she'll never lose a crown for the simple fact that every new chick is on the Shade Room beefing about, I want a Nicki verse. No, I didn't. Why did I get it yet? What? That's it. You know how she got that? She influenced a fucking generation.
Right.
That's how you really become great. Kanye, how he become great? Changed the fucking, it was all about everybody was sagging, gangster rap, yo, we thugs. All right, come here, squares, tight jeans, let's go. We pink polos, let's switch the shit up. Legend forever.
Right.
That's where that next queen's gonna be.
I feel like Cardi tried to do that.
Nah.
Even, what was that song she had with Megan? She had all the female rappers in it. She tries to be like, I'm the girl that uplifts all the other girls.
Yeah, well she tried to usher in the ratchet era, which was the offspring of that is Megan, her little ratchetivity, and then the city girls and their shit. But that's like, I don't think that's a complete cultural movement that's gonna last for 10, 15 years. Like, you gotta realize.
You have to have some more substance.
Like, it's been 12 years since Nicki dropped the verse, like the best verse of her career, which is Monster. It's been 12 fucking years. And you still got women now who just still look at her like, this is Nicki Minaj. You get me?
Yeah.
The reason why she's had that impact for so long, right, is just because she's like, the City Girls been really on, I give them 3, 4.
Like, you're rating them a 3 or 4?
No, like 3 or 4 years.
Oh.
And to keep it real, I could make an argument, their peak might be done. They could have peaked already. They peaked on the Drake song. They had that little, you know what I mean, real ass bitch give a fuck by the nigga. Everything else is tailing off. And you know what's going to happen? Watch. Music gonna shift. That ratchet shit, cool, yeah, I get your little bags, but then the new chick who's gonna, that's why Doja Cat sons all these chicks, and Doja Cat's just weird.
Fire. But she doesn't claim a rapper, she claims an artist.
Okay,
like how they do.
That's what I'm saying. The next female is probably gonna, it's just the same with Drake. Is Drake just a rapper or is an artist?
He's definitely an artist.
Hybrid. I think the next one's gonna be a hybrid. Sings better than Nicki, could rap sometimes close to Nicki, but then every female is gonna wanna be her. You can't be the queen unless everybody want to be you now.
If Doja was black, I think she'll be the next.
She is black, ain't she?
She's not black.
What you mean not black?
If she looked black, more black. If she looked like Meg, okay, if Doja came out with the song.
That's hate right there. That's light skin, mixed breed hate. You know why you're saying that? If Doja,
we saw the video with Doja and 3 other white men in that video, and that's why we look at her as a white woman.
If she wasn't over here entertaining a bunch of white dudes,
exactly.
And she also put on the record she only date white dudes too.
Exactly.
If she was a little bit more cultural, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. If she looked like Meg, not acted like Meg, but produced the same. If Meg produced the Doja Cat songs, she'll go crazy. And be the next queen.
But that's why I was getting at you about the skin color distinction, because in reality, I think I'm still waiting for the mold to be broken by somebody who's a little bit darker than the likes of the caramel people who have ran it, whether it's Nicki, Beyonce, or whoever else. You know what I mean?
I think JT as a solo artist will go crazy.
Too ratchet, man. Yo, I'm gonna tell you, that ratchet shit is cool, but I'm telling you, like, it's like fast food. You know what I mean? Like, you're not gonna get the majority of like women to just fuck with that shit. And that's the thing about Nicki. Nicki's ratchet. She got a lot of ratchet shit in her music.
But she got pop, she got soul, she got all of it.
She got everything.
I think JT gets ratchet so much though because of Miami. JT, if you actually listen to a JT verse on each City Girl song, I think she got it in her. 100%.
I think she can rap.
I think she really got it in her, and I think she...
But also, I ain't gonna lie, man, and maybe this is why they stopped fucking with Yachty. Ever since I realized Yachty was writing half of that shit, I was like, holy, man.
But even Yachty, he said that he didn't write JT's verse. He only wrote the chorus that she has said on the song.
Oh, you like JT?
I'm just saying JT's a rapper.
No. She's good as a rapper.
She's a rapper.
No, she's good as a rapper. But still...
A lot of women aren't rapper. A lot of men aren't rapper. A lot of these folks is artists, and they should stay in that lane.
Here's the difference, though.
JT's a rapper.
I think she would have a chance if it was as glaring her talent opposed to, like, if it was like, if people looked at her and Young Miami like they look at Sway Lee and Slim Jimmy. Like, come on. You know, it'd be like, yo, damn, this the guy.
But she don't got the personality, and that's where she falls at. Miami got the personality, Miami got the internet, but JT, she could only rap because when it gets to the internet, nobody likes her on the internet.
I'll ask you a question. Because you live in Atlanta, and I've asked this question to a lot of people, what do you think is the cultural music hub these days? Do you think, I know you haven't been in New York maybe for a while, and I know you're only here for like the weekend, but do you think it's Atlanta or do you think it's here?
Atlanta. Even New York.
I keep hearing that.
New York. You don't agree?
I haven't been to Atlanta in like 3 years.
It's no way it's New York. Honestly, an artist could produce. All right, I'll say this. New York has media. There's no stronger media platforms that Atlanta can compare with when it comes to The Breakfast Club. When it comes to no.
No. Here's the thing though.
Atlanta don't got it.
No. But no, hear what I'm saying though. I really think The Breakfast Club, I don't think about Breakfast Club as hip hop. I think about The Breakfast Club as cultural, but it's just a show. Really good show, but it's a show. For example, when I think about Big Facts podcast, I think about hip hop. You get me? And not to say I'm comparing The Breakfast Club, but like,
even if we were to compare Big Facts to you, you're beating them.
Okay, but honestly, I moved to Atlanta. You see, like people thought I was from Chicago. Like I feel like we're decentralized now.
Yeah.
I think the only thing that might matter a little bit is, and I've always said this, it worked in music, but it probably won't help you in media. When T.I. didn't know any word with more than three syllables, his shit was fire. That nigga used to murder criminal. Like that nigga was just like, what's happening? Like that nigga was, his little southern drawl was just, it just made songs more melodic. It was great. Then he started speaking like very political now, right? The thing with media is that because it's talk and not melody, I think people up north and on the East Coast have slight advantages because the accents get in people's way. You get me?
For sure.
Like, I'm going to be honest with you. Like, that's why, like, sometimes I'll be watching some West Coast stuff, and, like, unless it's a West Coast-oriented thing, I just want to hear a nigga be like, yeah, cuz, like, yeah, like, they talk different. You know what I mean? Like, we have accepted the New York, like, way of delivery.
I always say people from up top, we sound like the people from on TV. You understand us. When you go to the South, when you go to the West Coast, you don't.
And by the way, that might change. That might change at some point. But
I think it will. I think Atlanta's taking over. I think Atlanta's taking over music, media. Well, eventually media, but right now New York still got it. Music, acting for sure. Atlanta is the hub. Everyone from New York moved to Atlanta.
Yeah, that is true.
Like, who still lives in New York for real?
That's true. I gotta come to Atlanta, but I like Miami right now.
I was gonna say it's Atlanta and Miami,
you know,
but it's still the South. West Coast is even dead.
Facts. You know what I thought about Atlanta though? With the amount of people who are there, how the fuck don't they all just bump into each other constantly?
In LA?
Yeah.
Don't they though? They all go to the same places.
I don't know. That's because I be thinking niggas is beefing. So I'm like, yo, I never hear no nigga really like. I mean, of course we do hear shit from time to time, but like, I'm like, it feels like it's so many people in Atlanta. You'd assume everybody's bumping into each other all the time.
In Atlanta, everybody's outside, but they all get along. There's no real beef in Atlanta. Like, who would you say has real beef in Atlanta?
Baby and Offset? I don't know. The fuck?
Not even. That's all.
They're not beefing?
They're beefing, but are they going to do something? No, because they both from the city. They not going to shoot each other down.
I definitely seen, and by the way, salute to P. I definitely seen them both perform at like some Triller Fest. And I was talking to P, and he was like, it's like, yeah, I managed the situation. I was like, damn, this is good.
Even if there's beef, even if there's a disagreement, there's so much respect in the city. Like, it's so much money to make in Atlanta.
Yo, niggas in New York, they rather shoot their album more than going to sell 10 million records, man. Fuck that.
Okay.
They're not getting along. Niggas in New York will not get along for the bag. They are the definition of Mr. Fuck It Up.
And I feel like that's why New York, drill should be going crazy right now. Crazy. There's so many drill artists that should be going crazy. And I feel like it's still just in... Like in New York,
no, but I think it's just drill. Period. Like, imagine trying to get like Chief Keef and FBG Duck to go on tour. Like when FBG Duck was alive. Right. Like you're gonna be like, nigga, I don't care what you got going on. Fuck that nigga. I'm not going on no tour with him. Drill's a little different because like niggas really want to kill people.
All right, so artists like A Boogie.
Yeah, I give you that. See, that's a good
Boogie
point.
should have went crazy.
Like,
he's still in New York. Why? Not even he's still in New York, but his fan base is still in New York. He hasn't centralized.
Well, he tried to move to Atlanta for a while, but I know what you're talking about. For example, right, you see, in Atlanta, it feels like more people just kind of get along and just mingle together. Like, A Boogie in New York, him and Lil TJ, you won't see them together.
And they make the same music. Not they make the same exact music, but they're the same sound. There's no reason why y'all are beefing.
I don't even think A Boogie and Cardi B ever been on a song.
And they're both from the Bronx. They lived down the street from each other.
Yeah, I don't think there's a lot of but I asked some of these questions like behind the scene, and what I got told is like there's a lot of politics with that though. There's a lot of politics with that.
And in Atlanta, guaranteed. It's politics, but everybody got so much respect for each other, and everybody want to see each other get so much money. Mind you, I'm not from Atlanta. I'm not jacking. I'm from Atlanta, but I just saying like it's so much money to be made in Atlanta. Everybody making it. We not gonna stop somebody else's bag.
No, you're right. I gotta come check out Atlanta, man.
You gotta move to Atlanta.
Nah, hell nah.
Like
I feel like Atlanta's too mixy.
Miami.
But even Miami, I don't know how people get work done there. When's the last time you been to Miami?
I've been to Miami during the pandemic.
Man, Miami is just for debauchery, man. It's just for like fuckery.
It's for fun. I couldn't work in Miami.
Yeah, it's like, if you go down there, like one of the things I've kind of been proud about in like staying focused despite my success is that I never let the lifestyle that came along with hip hop or that I'm open to or could be exposed to like take control of me. Like, for example, there's certain niggas they get on, and then from that moment on, they ride the club wave every week.
Yeah.
You get me? And like, I'm not the nigga who's gonna be at every show, in every club, always got a section, turning up. You're seeing me with all the hot chicks on the scene who be at Starlets, and it's like, oh shit, yeah, Ak always blah blah blah. Oh, he's here. No, you know why? Because that's like counterproductive to like what really is my business and me really working. But a lot of people do. A lot of people start thinking what success is that, okay, you had a hit 2 years ago, so yeah, they might throw you like a little, they might comp you some bottles, and then the bitches still love you and shit. They might give you a hosting now and then, so you in the club every weekend and you're acting like you're getting it and you're lit. But in reality, you're not. Like, you should be in the studio. You should be out the way. You should be touring. You should be trying to figure out how to elevate your career. But people start thinking that the lifestyle, like, the majority of the artists who make the best club music don't go to the club
like
that much. Well, I mean, we can talk about just a history of artists. For example, 50. 50 never went to the club.
Okay.
You know, 50 never went to the club. I think I was talking like Baby said he don't go to the club unless he's getting paid.
Baby be in the club.
Unless he's lying.
Baby
you sure that's not his twin?
Huh?
You sure that's not his twin?
No. It's Little Baby. Baby be in the club.
Hold on, who else? Now I've just heard like there's a lot of artists that just in their moment, they just fucking just stayed in the studio. You know what I mean? And like their music is running the club, but like they're not there partying every night. Because
they're not there for long. Well, in Atlanta.
Maybe Lil Baby was a bad example, but
I'll say an artist that I feel like got on from living the lifestyle before actually getting the lifestyle, and he's still coming up. I think he's about to be on Freshman XL. Sauce and Santana, you know who that is? If you don't know Sauce, you don't.
Who the hell is that?
Walk. No, you don't know who it is. He just was on the Breakfast Club.
Who's this? You don't know?
He's a gay rapper, but he just like
got like no,
but
he's good.
He's good. Like he has good music.
Like I'm not saying nothing if he's a gay rapper, but like is he like one of them like shade room dudes? Like if you want him to shade room, like
he's had 5 hits in a year. He's big on TikTok.
Okay.
I only thought you knew him because like everybody's been talking about him. He's been in New York all week going crazy.
I think I know who you're talking about, but like with all due respect to him, I only know him from the shade room, and it's because he has an audience like an Instagram model.
Because he did the live.
What live?
Well, never mind.
I have no idea what you're. So this is how it. If you're gonna hit my radar as a rapper, Unless you're like in some beef, maybe you will, right? But other than that, it's gonna be music. I think for him, it's like imagine if Ari started doing music. I'd be like, wait, Ari does music, but what do I know Ari
She
from?
got a song.
Well, I know Ari from being on the Shade Room.
Yeah.
So like, I think that guy, like, maybe he's pretty good. Does he consider himself a guy?
Yeah.
Okay,
He
he's
uses
probably
those pronouns. Yeah.
okay. He probably is pretty good, but I've only known him from like Shade Room stuff.
Got you.
So I don't know.
So that was a bad example. And I think he was the best example. And I only brought that up because
And you say
Charlamagne literally said that on
So
the last interview. He was like, pretty much Saucy was like, I used to always be in the clubs in Atlanta, and then I started going on tour. So to see that reflection from how everybody viewed me from just being outside in the clubs, and then now I'm on tour, is such a different reflection. And then Charlamagne was just like, oh, so how do you plan on moving your career forward? It was the whole interview.
yeah, but I think that's very different than most artists, though. Like I think that person, like for example, Ari's gonna be in the club every weekend. That's her job. Mm-hmm. She's an influencer, a host. She's always gonna be in the club.
I think if she was to drop a song, it would go crazy.
I agree. I think the Saucy dude, like, I'm pretty sure he was in a club, like, people knew him. Of course that works. But a lot of artists, they'll tell you, like, they don't fucking spend their time in the limelight just partying it out.
Yeah.
You get me? Like, usually they're in the club trying to figure out, how do I get my next song in the club? And maybe I'm just speaking of other people that's not in Atlanta, because Atlanta might be different. I don't know. But I've just... when listening to a lot of artists talk about their work schedule, like the most they'll say to me is like, yo, I'm in the studio all night. I'll go to the club for like an hour just to hear what's playing, and I'll come back. But I don't be really partying like that.
Yeah.
But then there's other dudes who...
they never in there for more than an hour.
They're always in there. Huh?
Asian doll, she stay in the club.
She got no songs like that.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. She just be there. But
she be rapping along with all the King Von songs? Come on.
It's like standing up, and then her friends would start recording her so that other people could start recording her. It's really embarrassing.
Oh, so she performing.
She performing for her. It's really bad. Like, really bad. But, so, XXL is coming out. Mm-hmm. Who would you say right now you put on there? You have to vote. So you want to see the list?
Now, if you got a list?
I got a list.
The interesting part is that, like, I feel like the XXL list is so different recently because there's been a bunch of artists that...
It goes in alphabetical order.
They're putting B-Love on it. There's a New York bias, I always say that. And not saying you don't deserve it, but they're going to always... It's a hometown thing. I don't think he deserves it. He's definitely hot in New York, but, sometimes I always tell people, like, New York is the big city with a lot of people, but sometimes you don't realize what's hot in New York is not hot outside of New York. You get me? They won't play that music.
So, in your opinion, do you think XXL should be based on longevity or just what's going on right now?
I think XXL freshman list is antiquated. I think this is all bullshit, man. I think this is pay to play. I'm gonna keep it 1,000. So, at this point, there's a point that it really meant something. I think now it's just a lot of artists paying for the look, and them holding on to the past. I think the peak of it was 2016 or 2017. Maybe when X was on it. No, but I think really it's Uzi because people felt they got it so right.
Yeah,
but ever since then,
they got that year right. It was 21, Uzi, Yachty. Just their cipher alone, everybody's still going for real.
I'll tell you who from this list. So I think they're gonna put B-Love. It might be salute to him. I have no problem with him. Mm-hmm. Salute to Babyface Ray. He's out there. I think from Detroit, but I don't know if he's gonna make it.
I think he's from Detroit.
I think Big 30's gonna make it. Fredo Bang might make it. I don't know. I ain't even gonna lie to you. Like JNR, Choi, like some of these people, like they don't have one song we know. Like, what are we doing here? Like
TikTok.
Yo, freshman list. I think this nigga and me got into it one time. Ken Carson, he might make it. I don't know.
What y'all got into it about?
I don't know. Like, people were telling me to check him out. I'm like, yo, nigga, y'all gotta stop telling me to check out niggas before they do something. Like, there's other platforms that will cover them while they got a song on, like, SoundCloud. Like, hit me when I report Billboard charts, not the SoundCloud charts. You get me?
Yeah.
So it's like music is so big now, I can't cover all spectrums of music. I got to pick one part. So that's why there got to be another Akademiks who covers niggas like that. That's why I like what Say Cheese does. They cover certain parts of the country way better than me because I wouldn't care about half the niggas they post about.
Do you listen to UK music?
The UK?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
Who you fuck with? 5 people.
I love Dave out there. Dave
isn't really rap though.
Huh?
Dave isn't like.
Dave not rap?
All right.
Yo, you a tweaking. Dave like Drake out there.
Exactly. We calling Drake an artist.
Okay, it's an artist. I'm gonna get my pick. Dave, we still rocking with Skepta.
Skepta hard.
Let me see.
Central C.
I've heard a couple Central C songs.
Central C so fire.
I
think he's the hardest UK drill artist right now.
Give me some other people.
Fredo.
Yeah. Me and him got into it a little bit too. There's a video with him like kissing a dude or something like that. I know.
Cat.
No, it was something like that. His man was whispering, or he was whispering to his man. It looked like he kissed. And when I posted, everybody just started clowning him, and he thought I was playing them. You know how niggas get salty. Oh, this is so. Oh yeah, I see this Saucy Santana dude.
Yeah. Honestly, if you ask me, from everybody on that list, I would say Santana is.
They might give the
MVP.
They might give Sofago. Let me see who else. Hey, this dude Wisdom, the guy who the baby fired on. The fact that you CEO punched you out, like you can't make the list. I'm sorry. You're disqualified.
I don't understand it. I don't even know Wisdom's song though.
Even though he did buck back on the baby.
What song does he have?
Shit.
How is he even an option and we don't know a song by him?
But that's what I'm saying. Like, I think XXL these days are the established artists are turning it down. So they're trying to predict so much that a lot of the people that they're picking, they're looking at analytics from SoundCloud and things that like TikTok that you might be like, well, I don't know this guy yet. They're just trying to predict at this point. So I ain't gonna lie, they might throw a Ramble on it.
Right. Outside of looking at the list,
Narderwick definitely got to make it.
Narderwick deserves it.
You see, I would say Mooski got to make it, but some people might be like, yo, you only has one song. And I'm like, I only know one song. You know what I mean? It's one of those type of things.
What do you think about Capella Gray? Because they was like, if it has to be a New York artist, Capella Gray.
Nah.
Because it's not drill? Or just because you don't think he's going to have longevity?
Might have longevity.
I think he'll have longevity.
I just don't think the impact has impacted New York as big as some of the other people.
Whoa.
Yo, New York?
Dallas?
Yo, K-Flock right now is impacted the city way more than that. K-Flock locked up is. I told somebody this. They can't even believe me. I love Fabio. Fabio was sitting right where you were sitting. K-Flock in New York is hotter than Fabio.
Yeah, Fabio don't got the impact. I don't care what nobody's saying. Fabio don't got the impact.
Unless we're talking about Lil TJ, A Boogie, and Cardi B, K-Flock is the hottest artist in New York. And he's sitting in a jail cell.
Yeah.
It's a reason why Cardi B went to the fucking bodega and was like woo walking to a song. I'm telling you.
But they can't put K-Flock on the list.
Shit, they better find a way.
If they could, I would definitely say K-Flock. But if not K-Flock, I'm going to say Capella Gray for sure. Gallus did way more like around the U.S. than any drill song.
Nah. Hot Boy. They got to throw Hot Boy on there. We'll see.
What song is Hot Boy?
You're a Florida rapper. He be having a whole bunch of lit songs.
I don't know his name, shit.
But yeah, I don't know, man. Yo, these, as I said, it's pay for play. Yo, you gonna see some weird ass niggas on the list, and you're gonna be like, yo, how the fuck you get there? They're gonna look at the powerful people behind them and be like, oh, it makes sense. So that's why I stopped really caring about it. You know what I mean? They had their time in the light, and I think these days they're just living off reputation.
What do you think about DDG's comments?
What do you say?
I'm gonna read it. He said, today's rappers are 10 times better than the rappers back in today, respectfully. I respect the older generation of hip-hop, but this generation's creativity is on another level for real. Hip-hop ain't never been number one genre until now.
I respect his comments.
Do you think hip-hop is better now?
He's supposed to say that.
Definition of hip-hop.
No, well, see, that's the thing.
Let's define hip-hop.
No, everything is hip-hop. Drake is hip-hop.
For sure.
Drake is hip-hop.
I'm going to give Drake that.
If you are cultural, you're hip-hop. And I understand why he's saying it, and I appreciate him saying it because he's supposed to say it. He's within this era making music. I always hate when them off, like, yo, DDG probably was literally like in diapers when Biggie died. You know what I mean? Like,
sure.
there is,
And they come out saying, "Oh, Biggie was my favorite rapper." You didn't know him.
People use hip hop where music is so subjective compared to sports. Sports is objective because it's merit based. You win a championship, you're the guy. You didn't win the championship, you wasn't a guy.
But in sports, you are always going to get compared to Michael Jordan.
Yeah,
in basketball.
But you know why? Because he won 6 rings. He won 6 rings. He was the greatest winner, or one of the greatest winners. And because of that, you're going to get compared to him. But when it comes to music, like, what's the rings? It can be platinum plaques because Drake beat everybody, right? So it's subjective at that point. It's be like, well, Jay-Z was spitting. And you're like, well, yeah, that nigga was spitting because he didn't know how to make a fucking hook. Like, look at Drake. This nigga's singing like, you know what I mean? Like Whitney Houston on the fucking, you know what I mean? So, again, it depends on what you want to think. The reason why I appreciate it, I don't have to agree with them. Because I really think the best era in music, the best 5-year period is going to be, in my opinion, either 2000 to 2005, right? We get
top 5 artists from that.
Well, we get DMX that passes through. We get Nelly who passes through. I think shit is so commercialized. 50's doing his thing. Jay's doing his thing. Eminem. There's a lane for everybody.
That makes sense.
That was a great time. Like there's a nostalgic feel about that. You know, I think also this is kind of like, you know, shit, I'm a kid, but like just even looking back at it, like I ain't gonna lie to you, I think around 92 to 97.
Yes, that's what I'm gonna go with.
But see, that's what I'm saying. It's like it's subjective.
But that's more crew based.
Well, but it's subjective. Like people might just be like, yo, music was just kind of like all the same. Where like it was a bunch of tough guys. You know what I mean? All rapping about selling drugs and shit like that. As opposed to like, if we go to like, let's go to...
Outkast wasn't rapping about that. They was around that time.
Yeah, but like, how many Outcasts are we talking about? Like, yeah, throw me Outcasts and maybe Bone Thugs, but like, who the fuck else we really talking about? Like, the majority of these motherfuckers is rapping about, you know, it was like the theme of music was different. So let's compare that time to like, some people might say, and I ain't even gonna lie, I believe, let's say 2008 to 2013. I think that was pretty dope.
That was
we get music starting to change. We get people like Kanique, really popping off. But 50 and Ross is going at it. Mm-hmm. The South start to really basically say, this our shit now. You get me? Future's starting to go crazy. You get me? And then you basically transition into Kendrick now being here. Then you fucking have My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. Like, there's a constant change. The world is changing. Getting all the way to, like, say, 2013, where Drake is, you know, pretty much on the cusp of dropping If You're Reading This Is Too Late. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? No, actually, no, that's Nothing Was the Same. That's Nothing Was the Same. But it's still a great time in music.
What year?
2013. Okay. If You're Reading This Is Too Late came in 2015. And then What a Time to Be Alive also came the same year. Yeah. And then Views came the year after. But then I could probably make a case. I could probably make a case for, and by the way, in that 2008 to 2013 moment, we're also getting Chicago drill. And by the way, early 2008, we got Waka. You get me? So it's like, it's very multifaceted, right?
Why do we talk about Waka like a landmark and he had 2 songs that really went?
Because it fucking changed shit. I remember when that shit changed. Yo, I was at Rutgers University. Mm-hmm. And I just remember like playing I Go Hard in a Motherfucking Paint. And I was DJing parties with football players. And we up here in New Jersey and it was niggas with gold grills from down south. And I just seen it was a different energy. I remember the first time I played, like certain songs just make you realize, and this I always understood what Jay meant when he said, we knew 50 was coming. You know when the energy shifts because of a song or a mood. And the fucking mood change. Like when niggas heard, these bitches love Sosa, mood change. I remember I played that in the club. I played that shit in the club one time and I said, what the fuck is this? I'm telling you, like, you know the specific moments that when these things happen.
That song, yeah.
I ain't gonna lie to you. That's what I would say 20, let's say, this is a good one too. See, if you're born near 2000, you're gonna say this is the best era. You're gonna say we're going by 5-year time periods. We're gonna go 2015 to 2020. Shit, you got Uzi and them, Uzi, Kodak, 21 Savage, Yachty. They all come in 2016, but 2014, 2015. Baby, won't you come up? Come on now. You got that melodic shit. The melodic shit start, like, niggas start taking melody to a different level. It was trap melodies happening. It was hood shit, but you could sing along with it. You get me? Then you have Future, 30 Sprite 2. You know what I mean? Like, that nigga is running shit from like 2014 to 2016. That's Future. You get me? Drake is still Drake. You get 2017, Damn gets dropped by Kendrick Lamar, fucks the whole place up. The super lyrical nigga balanced it out with making great songs. He got songs like Loyalty with Rihanna. He got Damn, he got Humble, he got all these great songs. Like, then you get 2018, another transcendent artist comes around, XXXTentacion. 2017, remember, people are saying, yo, these new artists, they're gonna be out of here in a year. It's after they seen the Color to Hear niggas. Who drops? We see Lil Pump come. We see 6ix9ine drop. We see Trippie drop.
But they don't have longevity.
No, but I'm only talking about that time period.
Yeah.
You get me?
But when DDG says the best time period in hip-hop, we're thinking longevity. People were influenced by Biggie and Kim. That's how we got Nicki.
No, I don't think he's talking about longevity. I think he's talking about diversity. I think he's saying that there's people doing everything that you would want, and it's not as monotone. In the sense of, I
can see that. It's more sounds.
Yeah, and I think that for him, he's like, yo, there's so many different lanes. And for some people, you know, like when people talk about Kanye, I always thought Yeezus was trash. I always thought it was garbage. I still think it is.
I agree.
But people really say it's one of the most, some people say it's one of the best albums in hip-hop history. You know why they say that? Because it was so different. And unfortunately, I always say I don't give a fuck if it's different. Is it good?
Is it good?
But some people be like, well, it broke the mold. And I think part of what DDG is saying, man, fuck what y'all niggas is saying. Like, yo, we got people still spitting like how Jay-Z and Nas was spitting. If you want those, go holler at all the Dreamville niggas. Go holler at motherfucking, you want drug rap? Newer shit? Oh, you don't want to hear Pusha T? Why don't you go listen to them dudes from Buffalo? You want to hear them Griselda dudes rap about that? Conway and Bane the Butcher? Okay, cool. Who you want to hit? Like, I think they're just saying more options. The golden era in most people's minds is immortalized based on success afterwards.
Is it?
That's why I would say 2000, 2005. Yo, DMX is out. DMX Ja Rule is out in 2000. Nelly's out 2002. Eminem is dropping 2001. Jay-Z dropped Blueprint 2001. Let's think about this. 50 Cent comes 2003. So again, and then again, all the people I'm mentioning, look at their impact. Like, just imagine, you know, I always thought about.
They had more impact than the people in the 90s.
Well, here's the thing. I think they had more impact at the time. When Reasonable Doubt dropped, it was a decent selling album. It didn't fuck the place up. People were still hyped up over Nas. People are focused on what's going on with Biggie. Like, that's the thing. So in hindsight, we graded it to, like, you know, not saying it wasn't great, but in hindsight, we're building the impact of it. Right. That shit didn't drop like Good Kid, Mad City. Good Kid, Mad City, people were like, yo, what the fuck? And by the way, really, Reasonable Doubt wouldn't even be Good Kid, Mad City. Blueprint would have been Good Kid, Mad City. Okay. Section 80 would have been Reasonable Doubt. In sense of, like, it's you're so new, you put it out, and you have no clout to support it yet. So he drops it, phenomenal project, but, like, it wasn't a shit that, you know what I mean? Like, you have to realize, when Pac drops Hit 'Em Up, nigga, Pac disses Jay-Z on it.
Yeah.
He disses Jay-Z and Nas. They edited it out.
I stand on the fact that Hit 'Em Up is the best diss track.
I agree. But he disses them on like he's like, yo, and fuck, like I think it was like, yo, fuck Nas, fuck Jay, and whatever the case.
In New York.
and they edited it out. But here's the thing: the reason why they also edited it out and didn't care is like Jay-Z and Nas, just you weren't on the Richter scale of Tupac. It was Tupac Shakur. You know what I mean? Now in hindsight, we look back and be like, oh, it was Jay-Z. But it's like, imagine. I don't know if they ever played against each other. No, I think he was retired by then, right? When did Michael Jordan retire? I think in 2004.
Yeah, I don't know basketball like that.
I think it's 2004. So. I could be wrong. But anyway.
Did he ever play against who, though?
LeBron.
No, he never played against LeBron.
Like, put it like this. That if they did, it would have been probably like LeBron's first season. And it would have been Mike's like last season.
And that's not
right?
even fair at that point.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So in really thinking about it, that's probably going to be a trash game. But if you think about it 20 years later, you're going to be like, yo, LeBron played versus Mike. You get me?
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where I'm like, yo, that's why I don't give that era so much credit, because the people in it became greater over time.
For sure.
It took Jay. Man, Jay was dropping an album a year until 2005 when he retired.
People were associating his fame to the death of Biggie. He had to first get out of that cloud.
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah. Yeah, I like Jay, though. People think I hate Jay. I like Jay.
I think he's good.
Tupac, like Tupac, the myth of Tupac, though, the myth of Tupac is the reason why you can't objectively have conversations about Tupac.
What do you mean, the myth?
I
hope you're not talking about he's still alive.
No.
Okay.
But the legacy of him.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I don't think he's the best rapper. I think he's the best hip-hop artist. I feel like he embodied the culture. I wouldn't even have a discussion.
He was poetic but crazy, and he thrived in beef.
But even that, you see, the legacy of a man becomes bigger than the man, always. You know what I mean? The legacy of Jesus, in the moment, nobody was like, this is Jesus. But when you hear these stories repeated decades and centuries later, you're like, what?
Right.
You know what I mean? Now, was it embellished? Who knows? Mm-hmm. It's the same with Pac. When I hear Pac, this is what I think about. Pac telling everybody to suck his dick, middle fingers up, spitting at the camera. Yo, Pac shot 2 cops. Pac Pac fucking Will's wife. Yo, Pac's the nigga.
You got video footage.
I'm telling you, yo, like when you listen to when you just remember Pac, he's so much the nigga that you just give him some extra points with like his music. Like, this guy was the guy, man. You know what I mean?
And that's why I think their generation, until Drake, Nicki, Cole, and Kendrick came out, were the most influential. And I still think that Drake, Nicki, and Cole, and all the other people I named, they still hold that. Everybody thrives to beat them. That's why there is Cole's label. There's Nicki's girls that follow behind her.
You trying to figure it out?
And then, like, everybody follows behind those structures because they have set the tone, and now it's like, those are the blueprints now. So for him to say it's the best time, it's like, hold on.
Nah, I understand it. You gotta, hey, let me tell you this. You know what I never liked?
Are we going to say that in 5 years? I don't think so.
No, it doesn't matter. You're supposed to believe it. It's like when a basketball player...
He's supposed to believe because he's in the game, yes.
Yeah, no, we don't have to agree. Like, we can say, oh, no, I'm nigga lying. But like, I like that he's saying it.
Oh, yeah.
You know I never liked? I remember Uzi and them used to be like, oh, yeah, I don't think I'm going to be around in a couple years. I'm like, damn, what type of fucking confidence is this?
Uzi didn't think he was going to be alive to see 23.
Well, listen, that's the problem. And by the way, that was you know my biggest critique of Uzi these days? I think he doesn't realize there's probably going to be some growth needed.
For sure.
All that shit you used to do at 22, when you're 30, they're expecting, like, your audience is kind of grown up.
Right.
It's 8 years later, they went through high school and college. Like, nigga, you think rolling your eyes and just, like, rolling your shoulders about to just get everybody hypnotized? Right. Nigga, do something else. What are you going to do?
His last album with Future was the reason that shit went. I'm going to say.
I don't think that, to be honest, both didn't even want to do an album. But I think he just has to evolve. But the reason why I can't really... You see, their era is like, or I wish he had the confidence that DDG has, whether it was right or wrong.
DDG has the confidence because he built up 3 YouTube platforms and then signed YouTubers and built up theirs. He has shown I could do anything. But once you have that confidence, it's
people
hard.
Gonna knock him though, because you know how they gonna knock him? Nigga, what have you done in music to be able to say this is best era of music. You get
Did
me?
Moonwalking go #1?
Hell no. It peaked at like
The way how he talked about it, you would have thought he got.
shit. That's how you supposed to talk. Yo, let me get a platinum plaque, man. Y'all don't think my shit went diamond. Let me get a platinum plaque.
Yo, I understand it for sure. All right, last question.
Okay. Let's make it good.
Last question. What do you have to say to those that say your page is a bad representation of hip hop culture?
Oh, no. It's what hip hop culture has always been based off, and this is what we as people has thrived off when it came to hip hop. You know, shit, I seen for a while.
I get in your back. You're being real humble right now.
No. Well, no. I'm being a straight shooter. Is like I'll go back to let's to the war in Chirac, right? Mm-hmm. You say you want to ask me about, so I'll address it, right?
Yes. Do you think it was fair that they threw that on you?
No, it's not. But
Right.
it's because you see, with me, I feel like the media should serve and be accountable to the people. With being media, you have a lot of power.
Right.
And the mere fact that I believe I was responsible for breaking the artist, I know the power there. So to use it, maybe misuse it without ever being accountable is, sure, you could get your money up, but like, it's kind of foul. You know what I mean? So I hold myself accountable to people all the time. And I sit there and I'll talk to them like, hey, what do you think I could do better? Right? And they always bring up the war in Chirac. And when they bring up the war in Chirac, for me, I know the criticism isn't based in good faith anymore, because I've explained it before. The criticisms these days is actually based in just not respecting where the platform has gone to.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, if I didn't succeed to this point, they wouldn't bring it up. Because I'll hear them bring it up and they'll give another person credit who did the same thing. Yeah, you know what I mean? Your Akademiks, you don't think it was fucked up you did the war in Chirac? But I ain't gonna lie, rest in peace and salute to, Zach TV. Even though he went to people's hoods and went to rival hoods and got them on camera talking shit. No, but rest in peace to him. Whatever. He was a good dude. But though, here's the thing too. Lil Durk, they be like, yo, you got people killed. But Lil Durk is making songs that's selling 10 million records. Dissing entire neighborhoods, gangs. Telling people exactly what he gonna do. When I see I'm gonna spin, I'm gonna slide for him, I'm gonna do this. So, you get to realize, is disingenuous. And when it comes to my platform as a whole, I've always said I treat it like a newspaper. The day rap music stops making money from beef and stops, showcasing feuds, I wouldn't. Because I cover what rappers are doing. I said recently, you think the NBA YoungBoy and Lil Durk beef and situation wasn't fueled by, the fact that they're both very hot artists and they could benefit off going at each other? So why do you not want to give them the blame, if you want to call it blame, but you want to give it to the media? Now, there's two different ways, and I've always been very cognizant of it. This is why I hold myself accountable. Because media could go too far. I'll give you an example. I believe it was The Source. The Source, when Biggie and Tupac were going back and forth, yes, they were going back and forth. The Source didn't invent that. The Source should cover it like all media should. Two relevant artists are going back and forth. You know what The Source did? The Source said it was an East Coast, West Coast beef. They put that in front of their magazine. What that then frames the issues as, it frames that as, well, there's a whole war going on, not just two artists having issues. So they're not repeating or reporting what's going on anymore. What they're doing now is they're specifically inciting an entire almost war. You know what I mean? No. As I said, the media could get a little too far in certain situations, and they get far in situations where they're taking the issues between two people and they're turning into something else. You know what I mean? Like, if Biggie and Pac didn't see eye to eye because Pac thought Biggie set him up and he got shot. And, you know, Biggie felt like, you know, Pac was trying to play games with his baby mother and fiance. That's one thing. There's a few between two artists.
Right.
You get me? Like, imagine, like, if I framed it on my Instagram, like, yo, there's a Chicago versus Baton Rouge beef. When it's really just Dirk and Youngboy don't see eye to eye, or, you know, Vaughn when he was here. I think that's where media could get, they could
influence.
Yeah, it can be influence shit and do it in very a malintent way. But here's the thing too, is I said the majority of the critique is success, because when Q was alive, people were upset at Q. Like, you know, Q that ran World Star. They were upset at him. They're like, oh shit, yo, you're encouraging bees. People keep saying World Star before they knock people out. They're sending all these graphic videos. They've blamed him. When he died, his platform still exists. They still post a lot of crazy shit. They have an app. They post wild stuff. You can submit stuff. But there was no person to blame anymore. So they stopped. So I understand it comes to the territory. And, you know, it's just my time to, you know, wear that blame. And again, I don't want nobody to feel bad for me for it, because I think I live a pretty good life and I'm able to do what I want to do. And, you know, I got great advice from, you know, Charlemagne with that, and he said, yo, Ak, let me tell you this, when you get to a certain level of success, when people can't stop you, or when people want to find a way to invalidate what you're doing, they're gonna say a few things, you're Illuminati, or they're gonna just say, oh, yo, she only got there because she fucked this guy. They're gonna say it about you too. They're always gonna say something, because when they can't understand your success, they're gonna look to attribute it to something. And he said to me, he said, if the best thing or the biggest knock against you is that, oh, you did the war in Chirac and you never lived there, if that's the biggest knock they have against you, and you've been doing this shit for 12 plus years, he said, when you get to your 20th and later on, you have won. Because look what they say about him. These days, every time he try to get a job, they try to throw up allegations and try to just fuck his shit up, because they don't want to see him succeed. So, like, if I'm about to get an accolade, or people are about to recognize me, or people are looking to do business with me, if the only thing they're going to jump out the blue and say, but Akademiks did this, I'll take that one. You know what I mean? So I'm not mad at it.
It's not that bad. DJ Akademiks, y'all.
Yep.
This has been a long conversation, but a lot of knowledge has been told, okay? Y'all need to learn hip-hop. That's the problem with y'all. Y'all don't know hip-hop. Y'all don't know how to talk about hip-hop, but we going to talk about hip-hop. Okay? You got anything you want to say?
No. Make sure you check out Krissie, and listen, as I go on, there always has to be someone new. And, you know, hopefully doing, you know, conversations like this and other people who, you know, I've kind of watched and I like what they do, hopefully it'll help your platform, you know?
Thank you. It is. I appreciate you so much for sitting down with me.
No problem. I had to make sure I get it done.
For sure. All right, y'all. It's your girl, Kanique.